I am Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations, and I have been asked by numerous people to attend a meeting in a different location in New Jersey to expose an allegedly very, very dirty cop and some allegations of some major nepotism going on here. So hold on here. Almost there. There's a huge amount of traffic. The car is like going, this car was going towards me as I'm driving here. And I am in Bayonne, New Jersey. Bayonne, New Jersey. Very, very corrupt place. Corrupt government. Patricia Walton, welcome. And Tyrone Auditor, welcome. There's so much traffic here, I'm late for the meeting. I want to sign up to speak. I'm in Bayonne, New Jersey. This is where the mayor, Jimmy Davis, was accused of major harassment. All right, so here we go in here. Entrance here. Come in, you can see entrance. Look at the unprofessional signs they have. Very, very corrupt place here. Okay. Hey there, where's the meeting? Where's the meeting? In here? Thank you, sir. Hey, hello. Where's the sign up? Sign up for speaking. Okay, thank you. Here's the sign up here. Quite a bit of speakers here. Truth. Okay. Here, check this out. There we go. Quite a bit of people here in the audience. Hey there. Where do I get an agenda? I don't see any. They gotta have enough agendas for the people. Welcome, everybody. I don't see any agendas. No. Oh, thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, someone gave me an agenda here. Agenda is super long. You're barely here.
that's one of the criteria of giving out financial pilots, right? You're giving out an abatement, there has to be a benefit for the community, and I don't see it. I'm not gonna argue about the ones on the base, but you're coming in and destroying neighborhoods. You have 10 pilots, I'm not gonna talk on all of them, 10 pilots here that are building exactly like this, in the middle of residential neighborhoods. They're causing congestion, there's not adequate parking, and we all know how parking is in this town. Okay, we all know that. You're destroying the quality of life in these neighborhoods and the character of these neighborhoods. Not to mention the infrastructure. Houses that one and two bathrooms and 1 or 2 washers now have, you know, we have 150 washers and double the bathrooms because most of these rooms have 2. Like, really, it's a big tax on our infrastructure. Not to mention the tax burden. But let me get to the, and another part. That's just the actual factual problems with this, and then we'll talk about the moral problems with this. This administration is in the last 5 months of your office, and decisions of this magnitude affect the city finances and service and burden the taxpayer for years to come. These are long-term commitments and should not be rushed into at this point in time, because you're tying the hands of the next mayor and the next council to make these decisions and the residents to weigh in. Because you all know I'm running for mayor, so I'm not disclosing that, you all know that. But the residents will weigh in, because the people who are running for office, council, mayor, are going to have to answer during the election cycle to the residents and tell them what their plans on and what they stand. And then it's up to the residents to decide who they trust to actually do what they say. So I'm asking you to take a pause and not burden us with this. And in the past, when I was here and spoke about these, I'm always told, well, we're in a financial crisis, which we all know, but we were put there this year, okay? But by the people sitting up there. Every penny in, every penny out is approved by you sitting up there. So I don't want to hear that it's to fix a problem, because this money will not be seen. We all know there's no time limit. They all have 30 years before they start building. So this money that you're approving today, the city's not getting. For another 15 years would be a blessing, actually. They're not gonna come in for another 20 years, right? They have that, right? We have plenty of pilots that have been sitting out there for 12 years and no one started building yet. So don't tell us it's a quick fix, because it's not a quick fix. What it is a continuation of Mayor Davis, former Mayor Davis giving out. Because I read these pilots, and it couldn't be better. Because like I said, it's Jimmy Davis's going away gift as he sold his property, because all these pilots still say Jimmy Davis on them as the one writing to them, Mayor Jimmy Davis. So I think, you know, we have to stop giving away the town and get real benefit and worry about the taxpayers. Thank you.
So, Council President, there's a couple, I apologize, but there's a couple of points there that I feel very strongly about. And while I don't disagree with Ms. Nadrowski, I do want to raise a couple of points. I want to clarify a couple of things, and I'm going to tell the individuals here in the audience who I'm going to call on, so you can get your statements prepared, because I need an explanation. Mr. Maselli, I would like for you to come up and address a couple of things with this property specifically. Mr. Skillender, are you here? You are here. I am going to ask you, I apologize, he is the director. Thank you, Lloyd. I'm sorry, Joe, you know I get very heated and passionate about this. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I am going to ask you to explain a couple of things about the pilots and the term and the benefit that is seen, and Ms. Nadrowski is correct, it is not for years in advance, as we know, because I believe there were how many? 41 pilots that were passed during the prior administration's terms that we are not yet seeing the benefit for, and that was done during the prior administration. So we're going to cover that as well. Then I'm also going to ask Mr. Skillender, I believe we have someone here tonight that's going to address my concerns with the finances and the benefit to our education program. And then Mr. Maselli, I'm also going to ask you to give us the community benefit that is being paid on this particular pilot. And again, I'm not going to do this with all of the pilots that are in effect, but I do want to make certain that the community is aware of all the facts. So, Mr. Maselli, if you don't mind, I'm happy to start with you.
Certainly. Michael Maselli on behalf of the property owner and applicant here.
One would like to ask, and I apologize. I won't like to ask you about the very trying times that I put you through in, number one, the facade of this building, because not only does this affect my community, it affects me personally. And I don't want to look out at a brick building, and I believe I've said that on every building that goes up. I want to make sure that what the community is looking at is something that is beneficial, something that is visually appealing. So I didn't want a brick wall at eye level. I didn't want something that looks like you're walking into stone. So one, we're going to talk about the visual appearance, the greenery that is there, and then we'll address the parking, of which we've been working on for a good number of months, and we've increased it over and above the state requirement on many of our projects where we have the ability to do that. So if you don't mind, and now please.
So just to give the background on this property was up.
Hey, welcome, everybody. I'm back.
In February of 2022. So they've been at this for 4 years, trying to work through the Bayonne process. A lot of that process involved interaction with the Second Ward Councilwoman, a back and forth on the facade to make it less bulky at the ground floor, to make the colors a little lighter, to make the materials look a little lighter as you went up, to design it so it didn't look so imposing on the neighborhood. So we worked hand in glove with your elected representatives, and I've said this probably a dozen times up here, just because you don't know it's happening doesn't mean it's not happening. So we were talking, and it didn't happen in 4 months, didn't happen in 12 months, it took 4 years to get here. So this was a deliberate process, a deliberative process, one that involved input from your elected representatives. All of you saw this project. And so that's what brings us to today. Community benefit. Let's go to community benefit. You wouldn't find that in the financial agreement. That's not where you normally put it. You'd have to ask for the redevelopment agreement. And that's where this number is going to be and will be. I believe it's $2,500 a unit, and I think, what are we, 52 units? So it's like $130,000, I think, something like that.
136,000.
Okay, so there is money being given for improvements in the neighborhood and to go to parks and infrastructure and things like that. That was not being collected ever before. Councilwoman Weimer, you were the first one to bring that up to me, at least to me, when we did the Soapbox project. That was the first time we broached that subject. And since then, we've been working towards doing this on every pilot. We started out at a lower number several months back, but we worked our way up, and I don't have the total number of community benefit dollars that are coming to the city, but it's substantial, and it was never done before. All right, so there is community benefit coming. Not just the community benefit, which the law recognizes of redeveloping an area in need of redevelopment, which it is a public purpose. Let's remember that. It's not just for us, it's for the city as well. You will get increased tax revenue. You will get, to help stabilize. I don't think this project is going to take 12 years to build, because if we do, we'll need to pretty much half the pilot, and I don't think that's economically beneficial to anybody. Yeah, there are some that are probably stalled, but it's in our financial interest to start, because we only really have a 5-year build out, right? If that's what the agreements allow. So I think there are community benefits. I think this has been a process that's been very sensitive to the neighborhood through your elected representatives. I know that you have your finger on the pulse of what's going on in your neighborhoods, and we did meet with with most of the council members to discuss this. So I don't see it as destroying a neighborhood. I see it as building it up, building it back, making it better than what it is today. And I don't think many of these do what Ms. Nadrowski
Can I
said.
just ask you, if you don't mind, Mr. Maselli, every single, and I know you were quite involved here within the city, all of the pilots that are up for this evening, can you confirm to me that each and every one of them do have a community benefit?
Yes, each and every one in their redevelopment agreement, and I believe each and every one is, except one, and there's a special circumstance for that one. I think that's for 33 Prospect, and that's the pipe issue.
There's a community benefit.
There's a community benefit to not moving that, right, exactly, right, so.
But nevertheless, with every pilot, we have now, for
Yes.
the last number of years, been discussing and have agreed upon a community benefit. Oftentimes, it benefits our infrastructure, which is tremendous here, because I believe without those benefits, we would not have the funds
Correct.
necessary to do that. But, okay.
Yes, every single pilot, except for that one special exception, has agreed to do, I believe it's $2,500 on every one. I'd have to look back, but
Right.
I think it's
And I
25.
believe that was the standard, John, I believe we worked on together, that $2,500.
Correct.
Yeah, per unit, just to be
Right.
clear, it's not 2,500,
Yep,
just,
nope, I
yeah.
agree. All right, I appreciate it so
No
very
problem.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike. Director Skillender. Sure. Just a couple of things, and I'm sorry, only because I don't, as Ms. Nadrowski said, I do not disagree with her on her comments. So but what I do want is, I want the community to know actually what is happening, and I would like them to know the facts. Sure. So, one, we have now established, and it's been on the record, that we absolutely have a community benefit for each and every pilot that is put forth, voted on, and agreed to within this community.
Yes, so I think overall, for the ones that we have, with approving the new terms on that, the 10 pilots up for hearing on this. I think, and this is where it speaks volumes. Look at the community benefit payment that has been negotiated with the city and the developers overall. We're getting over these 10 pilots over almost $1.6 million. That's payments that, again, are to be used for parks, are to be used for parking, infrastructure improvements in the surrounding redevelopment areas. I think the bigger thing to look at, though, is when these projects are finally stabilized and built, it's comparing as to, and again, the analysis is night and day. When we were in a bad financial shape in 2014, pilots got us out of that, and that's, the math hasn't changed. So under the current taxes, right now, of those 10 projects, it's about $500,000. So, and of the city share of that $500,000, the city only receives roughly 240,000. So less than half. I think the big difference here is, tenfold on when you look at when all the pilots are finally stabilized, the city, the pilot payments are roughly $2.5 million. So we're going from $500,000 to $2.5 million. And then the city share on that is 95%. So we're getting $2.4 million. That, any day of the week, you get one of these projects that go online, the city's, breaking even. Anything after that, the city is making money.
Welcome everybody.
So,
This is Leroy Truth
yeah, there can be
at the
projects
Bayonne, New
that go
Jersey
for a
Council
while,
meeting.
But overall,
So far, I'm last to
as
speak,
projects get built, the city
and I'm going to be
gets
answering
more
questions
tax,
about
more
a
revenue
major
coming in.
nepotism
So that
council person who has
taxpayers aren't a burden on covering the debt.
everyone in his
They
family
understand that,
got them
costs go up,
jobs after become
healthcare,
councilmen.
retirement,
Crazy.
these are issues that are not just affecting the
And exposing a dirty cop, predator.
And in order to fix this, we have to find new sources of revenue. This is a new source of revenue for that. And I think, again, this council has pushed for there to be financial payments, for community benefit payments, in addition to what they're required. So if there's, what's also forgotten on this too is, when they get a building permit and before they get a CO, they have to contribute into our water sewer system. There's a water sewer payment. That's not in this, the number, that's in addition to the financial agreement. That goes right to the rate payers. Those costs, basically like a country club membership, you buy into the system. And that money is used for infrastructure to cover the costs on operating our water utility. So if we don't do redevelopment, that cost falls back onto the taxpayers and to the ratepayers, which is unfair. So we either grow or we die.
Right. Now, I just want to, I do want to clarify.
Thank you everybody for joining.
Pilots currently in effect, 41 of which were passed by prior administration.
Yes.
Okay, so let's make certain we get that correct. And it is right that, it is correct that we are, the benefit to the community oftentimes comes years later. So while the administration that Ms. Mandrowski was a part of passed a total of 41 pilots, that we haven't yet, we may just be seeing the benefits of those pilots now.
Projects take years to complete. I mean,
Right.
none of the pilots that this council has taken action on are in effect.
And
We're
can I
fine-
just ask you, did any of those prior pilots that were passed include a community benefit contribution?
Not to this level.
Okay, well, but if it had some level, that, I appreciate that.
There was some level on it, they were more dollar amount specific as need be, so a couple parks,
Okay, but that's okay.
money baseball, but again, they were,
Not something that was regular, routine, made a part of our entire process.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you. Lastly, I want to talk to you because you know this is very near and dear to my heart. This is an issue that's been going on since May of last year. I want to talk about the benefit to our schools and our education and our children because that is what bothers me the most. So it's also a project that you and I have been working on personally for the last several months. And I believe that we have put together a couple of options for which we're going to present to the council on an allocation from pilots on several different options. Are we prepared to at least share that?
so I think we can discuss the talking points on that. We did direct our Special Redevelopment Council, McMahon, Scotland, and Bauman to prepare some of the legal scenarios that redevelopment can face, and help address that situation. But before I pull up Bill Opal, who's a partner at the firm, one of the things I do want to say also, just for the public's record on this, on the negotiation side of these, we do have our financial advisors from NW Financial who look at all these financial terms and prepare memos, again, that are there for the public and also for the council, to break down kind of the terms of the pilots. They're also the
I
ones.
certainly hope that our financial advisors from NW Financial are breaking down the $20 million of debt in addition to how we can rectify that situation. So we do have to look at both sides.
The president of the council, Volkart Gary LaPalooza, senior council president, and third ward council. He's the one sitting on the throne in the middle with the red face, the big red face. Looks like Santa Claus without a beard on the off season.
Okay, I would appreciate that. However, we could further explain that to the community.
Have truth.
A good understanding
These meetings don't change
of
most
where
things.
the base of an
What they
understanding
do is the council people love to hear themselves speak, and they just vote however they want for themselves and their nepotism, not for the community or for the good of we the people.
All right.
But I'll pause right there and let Bill Opal.
I'll let you, okay, thank you. Thank you, Bill, I appreciate you being here with us this evening. So as you can see, this is obviously a topic that is quite passionate to all of us here in the community, and certainly all of us here in the council. So if you are prepared to lay out the options that we've been discussing, something to rectify the situation so that we know that our schools and our education system and our children are really benefiting from the growth and the development that's going on here within the city, I would greatly appreciate it.
Sure. So there's a handful of options that are available. Some just through the regular budgeting process, others through the redevelopment process, and also through the long-term tax exemption law, which authorizes the city to approve pilots and tax exemptions for development projects.
Bill, well, I appreciate that you're addressing me personally, and thank you for that. But do me a favor and speak closer to the mic, because it's more important for the community to hear you. I can certainly hear you, so thank you.
Sure. So there's a way that the city can share municipally funded assets, which that would be outside the redevelopment context. That would be the city constructing recreational or other facilities that using municipal funds, whether that's funds on hand or funds that are borrowed, for the benefit of the public at large and for the local Board of Education. That would eliminate those costs from the board's operating budget, and that can be done outside the redevelopment There's also the opportunity for the board and the city to undertake joint redevelopment projects that would be utilizing municipally owned land or school board owned land that meets the criteria for a designation as an area in need of redevelopment. Also, the city or the board can negotiate for privately owned land, and you know, if it meets the criteria for redevelopment, the city could consider putting requirements in a redevelopment plan that educational needs have to be addressed in connection with multifamily or retail projects, for example. So that's one way of utilizing the redevelopment law to take the burden off the Board of Education. And finally, what I think the council probably wants some more specific advice on is sharing pilot revenue. It's a little tricky on that end because the long-term tax exemption law doesn't specifically permit the sharing of the annual service charges that are paid. However, they're offered in connection with redevelopment projects, and the redevelopment law does permit the city to enter into agreements with the Board of Education to further education initiatives for redevelopment projects within the city. So that can take a number of different forms with regard to sharing pilots. It would ultimately come down to an agreement between the city and the Board of Education on what preferred method they would like to take. It could be a fixed percentage of pilot revenues subject to annual appropriation. It could tie payments to the number of school children who are produced by a specific project, or we've seen instances where municipalities have just limited contributions to the school to capital improvements that would benefit the Board of Education. So there's a number of different options available for the council to consider.
Ladies and gentlemen, most of these meetings seem like watching lead paint dry.
The council can alleviate some of the
So let me just, I apologize, in layman's terms, the council, you're saying we have, and I'm going to assume that you're going to give us a memo summarizing these options, and perhaps it's something we can discuss. Okay, so we could either choose to allocate a fixed percentage of each pilot towards a school board contribution, which
Maybe I can make one, it could be that, or it could be a fixed percentage of pilot revenues that are collected over the course of the year. It doesn't have to be project specific, it could be city collected X in 2020.
okay, so it could be an annual contribution, it could be an individual pilot, that's fine. Okay, so a fixed percentage of pilot revenue that comes in, whether it be annually or a project specific.
I'm gonna wait till the next speaker. I don't want to go there at this point while he's up there. I want to wait, even though I know you can't hear him well. It's ridiculous. There's more than one podium here.
Limiting the use to capital improvements, or capital improvements for the Board of Ed.
Thank you for joining, everybody. That got this pretty well. It looks like about a $727 suit.
Typically, capital improvements would either be structural building maintenance or the building of new schools, things of that nature, but wouldn't necessarily. Okay. All right. So again, we have a fixed percentage of pilot revenue, whether it be individual or an annual basis, a per capita contribution for benefiting the students of that particular area or project, and then limiting percentage of funds towards capital improvements only. Okay, so we have summarized that, and then
And there's pros and cons associated with each.
Okay, that's something we can absolutely discuss, whether.
We would like to see a memo.
Yeah, absolutely, that's what so I'd like my council colleagues to have copies of that summary memo. And then, are we, Director Skillender, also prepared to have something be said over how that would either negatively or how that would benefit our overall budget? Is that why we have?
Well, again, NW's here to, I think, talk about the overall terms. As to the project specific, the memo really lays out the legal framework permissible under the law as to how to help address with the Board of Ed.
And is that something that would be helpful to the community if we we share that now, or do we
Well,
want?
on the again, it depends on the financial terms. If we,
Depends on the-
if we give, for argument's sake, the, you know,
Right, that's
10
project specific.
project specific, yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, to what Bill was saying, all right, there's a overall allocation that's made as a resolution, as a budget, you know, allocation. There's a couple things that have to be considered with that, too, as to also what's the proper vehicle for the Board of Ed to also receive that money. So there's a couple things that have to be still worked out. You know, that's why, you know, there's some pros and cons with that, the memo addresses. But you know, it all depends upon the options that the council and the Board of Ed too have to mutually agree upon. You know, look, if it's just a unilateral action of, you know, from the city council at that point, you know, that's, you know, there are some options there regarding, you know, the you know, given basically a payment or percentage of it.
Right.
But again, in the memo, the pros and cons, because it's as the memo also states, you know, it's a dollar for dollar trade-off of, if we reduce a dollar in, you know, the municipal side of it, because it is recognized as a city revenue, there also has to be the expense of that, and then vice versa with the Board of Ed. And based on how our budgeting laws work, you know, remember, we're not a business where we're profit-driven. We come out, what are our obligations first, so we work on our expenses, and then back out what the income is after, and that's how taxes are set up. So there's a couple things that still have to be worked out.
We all know I do think that municipalities should take a page out of the corporate budget playbook.
Agreed, but different, yeah,
Nevertheless.
yeah.
Okay, so I just want, I guess what I wanted both Ms. Nadrowski and the community at large to know is that I do also see this is a problem. It's been a problem, it's an issue with me, it does not sit well with me, it hasn't for a long time. It is something that I can, in good faith, say we are working on, and perhaps this is even something I would hope, if this does not get accomplished with this council, I hope that Ms. Nadrowski might, if she's the one that ends up, or of course, my colleague here, whomever it is that ends up in that next seat, would make certain that they carry through, they would give some sincere thought to ensuring that those are things that we put forth. So I think that is terrific. If I could ask Bill if my colleagues and I could all receive that memo.
That was distributed to the council and to the clerk. It's a legal communication on it, so.
Along with this, I mean, I have that memo. I thought perhaps.
Welcome everyone.
Okay.
I'll be speaking at this because I'm going to be asking why the head of this council is giving all of his kids jobs or made sure they have jobs at the city or the county since to be councilman, and I'm going to expose an S-predator, Hudson County Sheriff, who is the head of the Bayonne Democratic Committee named Lieutenant Matt Fedro. And Lieutenant Matt Fedro was accused of sending pictures of his privates to a female Hudson County Sheriff's officer, and they've been covering this up for years. However, an internal investigation sustained the allegations, but the Hudson County Executive and the Law Department in Hudson County, New Jersey refused to fire him.
There are a few that have mitigating circumstances.
It is garbage.
That will be addressed as we come to them, but by and large, I've said for
He's
quite some time
allegedly
now
sexually
that I think
harassed
the
and
issue-
allegedly sexually assaulted a female sheriff
It's been
officer,
said tonight.
and he's not fired. And he's the head of this Bayonne, New Jersey Democratic Committee.
Many pilots that are being
So when I speak, I'm going to be
$1.6 million.
sharing this, exposing this,
It's going to be gone before the meeting's over.
and asking
There are so many things that need to
the
be addressed
Bayonne
in the
Council
city
to immediately fire
things that
Lieutenant
cost
Matt
money.
Fedro as the head of the
I just don't
Democratic
see
Committee of Bayonne, New Jersey.
Whereas we might see it in job provisions, in union work, in labor, in the creation of a concrete fix to a current problem, not a hopeful fix to a problem that is years down the road. Parking, creation of a parking lot. They've brought up school issues. As the person most
You're right, Randy.
to the needs of the schools and the people in the schools as a school teacher in this city, I get laughed out of the room every time
Thank
I
you, Dave.
suggest that there's going to be kids
Hello,
coming out of
Bruce
these
R.
buildings. And And I'm fine with
Exposure
that as
report.
well, that they're gonna be minimal or none at
Lisa
all.
Ringo,
And so when one of the
Jody,
attorneys suggested that
Rufus,
the
Bart Connolly,
community
F-Truth,
benefit be associated directly with the
RCFC,
amount of children that might come out of a building,
RCFS,
I'm
Hugh
told
Law,
it's next to none. So where are we gonna get that community benefit from? And it is needed. It was all in line with that educational comment. Someone said, well, these are the type of things you put in the redevelopment plan. Well, I pleaded for quite some time to include workforce housing and these other issues in the redevelopment plans. So, to the point, with these pilots that go out, you're looking for a more stable, a better Bayonne, and so on and so forth. What you would see with workforce housing is individuals with good jobs, trying to keep those jobs, trying to stay in town, trying to spend their money in town, and trying to live a good life.
Thank you, Dave.
Which
Smash the like
raises
button.
all boats. That is a tide that will raise all boats.
Public comment time is earlier in the meeting. They don't wait till the end.
That issue is second only to the idea that I think, and have said for some time, that we should reopen the master plan.
They have
and
24
build
ordinances and then
with
public speaking.
A plan that's reflective of.
They may not
today's
speak it
standards and
about every
today's
ordinance.
Needs. No one believes me when I say it, I'm not against development. I just need something that I can be for. I need something that makes sense. I need something in an area that makes sense, in a way that benefits the community. And I would love to approve plans like this, but we need more scrutiny. The suggestion that making a building look nice and having them tackle infrastructure is a number one issue, so number one that it should be a matter of road. It shouldn't be something that is taking up a lot of time. The building should look good, they should tackle the infrastructure issues, and it is everything else that we should be focused on. Those things should be happening as a matter of fact. So I vote no.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Again, there's $1.6 million that never came in before. The tax ramifications are 10 times what the current taxes are. And that's the reason why we're entertaining all these financial agreements. And the city needs the money. There's no doubt about it. We have expenses that go up. And for that reason, I vote aye.
Rule 3 is an ordinance approving a financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and 18th Street Partners, MW Urban Renewal LLC, for the property located at 33-37 East 18th Street, which is identified as Block 226, Lots 12, 13, and 14, as shown on the official tax map of the city, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council member Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Booker will second.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and 18th Street Partners, MW Urban Renewal LLC, for the property located at 37 East 18th Street, which is identified as Block 226, Lots 12, 13, and 14, as shown on the official tax map of the city. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Mr. Drowsky, can we get somebody for each one of these, Mr. Richard maybe to explain like, what the community benefit is and some other pertinent information, current taxes, what the new taxes are? Mr. Skellner, if you would like to do it, that's fine, but
I'm not,
that might answer some.
I'm not answering, I'd like to just say my piece, because I would have came back up, but we don't get a second bite at the apple. The residents don't. So first of all, the 41 pilots, yes, I was a part of it. Gary was, Neil was for most of them, Juan was for all of them. So it wasn't like I was the only one in this room part of it. And I own them. I'm pro-development. I'm just pro-smart development. And ripping apart our neighborhoods and cramming these types of buildings in aren't smart development. Development that works. But let me tell you, you said 41 pilots, right? We did. You know what that brought in? We paid down the $24 million deficit that was here. And that was the purpose of it. And then when I was leaving, we were down to 15-year pilots. We had agreed. Neil, we passed a resolution saying we weren't going to do. And you're all up to 30-year pilots again and a $20 million deficit. We talk about this money coming in and to do things, but where'd it go? You're saying we're getting all this money, but yet we're $20 million in debt. Like, you're going to keep getting money and money from these pilots. We have to keep selling things short. And $106 million. Like, what is that? How much? So you want to tell me how much they're giving in community advantage? Do you want to tell me the amount of money they're saving if they didn't get the pilot? Let's talk about that. They're giving us 1.6, but what is the savings they're getting? Can we compare that to understand what percentage they're actually really giving back? Because I think it's a drop in the bucket. I think it's really just a drop in the bucket of what they're getting. And this is just a procedure. What is, like, can we all disclose what his relationship to all these are?
He's an attorney for the developer.
Okay, because I want to understand, he's talking about the great benefit and the benefit, and I just think we're all talking about, like Ms. Weimer saying, we all should just be transparent and say. So, all right, so that explains his grand interest in this and saying how
Well,
great it
I do
is.
think I disclosed that he represents a good number of the developers.
I think all
we
10,
have.
all 10.
It's highly possible, I'm not
And-
really quite
and then
sure, but
number-
that was disclosed.
Okay, so and number two is, this is the time with a pilot is where you have the legal right to put controls in there, to mandate wages and to mandate job training if you want. You get to man that in here. This is where you get to do it. You always say we can't do that, we can't tie it. Prevailing wages, not in a redevelopment plan, but in a pilot you certainly game, because that's your skin in the game. And you're not doing it. And we hear about all these great givebacks, but they're not in there, they're not in the contract.
Right, Ms. Nadrowski, what would your suggestion be for
To put it in the
paying down
contract.
that deficit without doing the pilots and increasing the costs of the developers by mandating additional expenses and costs within that pilot?
Okay, well, I'm not the one sitting up there, so it's not my
But you
take.
intend to be.
But, yes, but I'm not here.
But
You don't
it's
want to
not-
hear my
She's
platform
being
thing.
very
I-
snarky.
Absolutely.
Everybody would love to.
No,
Jerry
but
Springer.
First of all, we're
So
not,
it's not worth the time and effort to share with the community what your plan would be to correct that deficit, but it is worth your time and effort to communicate to the community that it's not, that what we're doing is not the appropriate.
no, I'm saying it's not the time to do it. You're doing it, you're rushing it. I don't know, I mean the time to do these
Those
pilots.
are Mean Girls.
I don't see.
Welcome to
I
Bayonne,
do
New
not
Jersey,
see
episode of Mean Girls.
why you need to do this thing, and none of the, you're saying what they can do, but you're not binding them to that. There's no language in here that makes them do that. There's no language in these pilots that are binding them to do that. I read them, there's no language in there that's binding them. They're nice, they can do. There's no community benefit. Is there a dollar, does it say what they're gonna do? Can you tell me in this pilot particularly where it says exactly in it, where it says it? Where is it? Joe, you wanna tell me?
It's in the redevelopment agreement.
No, not in the redevelopment agreement, because it's not binding there. What's in the financial pilot? What are they giving us to get the financial benefit?
So,
That's what they
again-
gave us to get the redevelopment.
That's Jackie
I
Weimer.
think we have to discuss a couple things that were done in prior pilots. Don't want to bring up the facto, but clearly if we want to discuss what is appropriate for a financial agreement and what is appropriate for a redevelopment agreement, we can have that conversation, because.
No, we're only talking, can I just say one thing? Because this is, Gary, you never let people talk about anything but what's on. We're talking about a financial agreement. I heard a lot about redevelopment. No, but they're talking about, I just want to talk about the topic here, which is this financial agreement.
A financial agreement, some of the redevelopment agreements.
Let's let Ms. Nadrowski defend
So we-
her statement, and then I'm happy to.
So can we just talk about can we address the financial agreement? That's the topic here. We're talking about redevelopment plans, we're talking about nice to haves later on in school things. None of them are in writing, none of them are binding. You got a lot of stuff on here, people don't want to be here all night. Can we just address the topics on here? Like, which is this redevelopment plan? So I'm asking, in this financial agreement, I'm saying redevelopment, financial agreement, where is the language that says what you're finding to do? Does it say prevailing wages? Does it say job training? Does it say specific community improvements, where does it, what is actually listed? Because I didn't see it in there. I'm no lawyer, so maybe I missed it.
Well, that's why we have John Winter-Scala here to discuss some of the legal requirements, but in order to, even under our ordinance, if we require, union labor on all that, does not qualify for, under the ordinance. Just because there's a pilot in place, it doesn't mean that there's skin in the game for the city. It doesn't conform with Supreme Court, rulings on this of government, mandating union labor on prevailing wages. That is something that we have no skin in the game. We were just approving a financial agreement. And even then, it's if the project total cost is $15 million, so that while some of these, would qualify, it fails on the second test that there's no skin in the game. We were able to mandate 100% union labor, for the film studio because we put, a RAM in place. And that redevelopment area bond, that the city has, that's the legal threshold on the test on having the city, mandate those work, prevailing wage, job force training, again, all great, noble things, but to legally mandate them in a financial agreement is, again, a redevelopment term, not a financial term.
Mr. Winter-Scala, are you gonna, since he's,
Well-
are you saying that there is no way to put prevailing wages that, well, first of all, the main question is a financial agreement not skin in the game for the city legally? So yes or no?
No, not in the context of a financial agreement that does not involve redevelopment area bonds. That's when the city has its skin in the game. The community benefits, et cetera, are set forth in the redevelopment agreement. The infrastructure requirements are set forth in the redevelopment agreement. That is a binding agreement. If the redeveloper is in default, they can be held accountable in that regard. They're not gonna get COs, temporary COs. Those payments have to be made prior to issuance and occupancy of the building.
So again, what I'm addressing to the council too is there were prior agreements that we were subject to litigation that had financial terms in there that should have been in the redevelopment agreement dealing with, again, that we settled regarding for accurate billage. There were financial terms that should have been in the redevelopment agreement that weren't there, were placed in the financial agreement and ended us putting the city into the lawsuit. Separating the two as to what is supposed to go into the redevelopment agreement and what is supposed to go into the financial agreement, that is, a legal threshold there. That's how best practices that we want, that we adopted here.
In addition to being a best practice, is that typically how it's been done previously?
Prior to me getting here now.
Prior to you getting here, how was it handled prior to your arrival?
Project specific, while some were, done the correct way on that, there were others, as I mentioned, that, we discussed ad nauseum regarding Madison Capital Accurate Builders as to, some of the financial terms and the redevelopment terms that were.
Did the prior redevelopment plans and pilots include a mandate for prevailing wages and for union labor, and was that a typical requirement that was put into those agreements previously?
It's a city ordinance and,
We
that
passed.
we have to adopt, that we have to, comply with. We don't meet the threshold test there for these projects. So if you want to speak to the project specific as to what's in the financial terms, that's why NW is here to discuss the financial benefit as to the legal threshold, as to the but-for tax. Again, under the law in order to issue, for the city to issue a pilot, they have to show the cause, that they will not be able to build without the pilot. And again, part of the change of, the market, you had great interest rates, and one of the biggest real estate booms that, we benefit from. Tariffs, construction costs are going up. Those are putting, again, the burden onto each of these individual projects, which, and interest rates rising, those
But for
costs-
that pilot, they would not be able to complete the building of that project.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm happy with your thing, but I just want to say, and I love that you said it because I've heard it before here, but because of taxes and and materials going up, it's costing the developers more, so we need to subsidize them more. We would all love to be subsidized for our taxes going up and the cost of our stuff we do going up, the cost of the gas, the food we put on our table at home. We would all like somebody to subsidize that, but that's part of life.
But this isn't a
So-
subsidy. This is still the developer.
It's like a subsidy. You're saying you're justifying the cost, that we have to offset the cost of increase in their materials. No one's offsetting the increase in the materials for us who are footing the bill on this, the taxpayer. So that's it, thank you.
Director Skillner, is there anything that we,
I didn't threaten you. No, it is necessary. First of all, my name is Michael Maselli, and again, I will identify myself as the applicant's attorney. Ms. Nozdrowski knows me well. I appeared before her many times when she was city council president, and I find it ludicrous that she would even say something like that. But let's go into the substance, shall we? RDAs, redevelopment agreements, are binding agreements. Big shock, right? Councilwoman Nozdrowski, former Councilwoman Nozdrowski should know that. She presided over very many of them that my clients signed. And the limited times they did extract benefits during that council, it was in the redevelopment agreement. It wasn't in the financial agreement. That's not where it belongs. And the redevelopment agreement and financial agreement are part of a redevelopment package that goes together. So it's ridiculous for her to say, if it's not in the financial agreement, it's not binding. That's not true. Let's talk about her allegation that if we make them pay full taxes, we're gonna get a lot more. That is a false equivalency. You will get nothing, because it won't be financeable, it won't be something that any bank will give a loan for, or any equity investor will throw his money in or her money in for. It's not gonna happen. So what do you wanna do? Do you wanna just leave empty lots? You wanna just suck wind for the next 10 years with our budget, get taken over by DCA? I'm also a taxpayer, in case anybody didn't know.
We expressed our opinions, and we appreciate your.
Yeah, no,
opinion.
just-
We need to wrap this up.
Okay, but a couple, yes, absolutely. A couple more things just very quickly. The prevailing wage, you can't require it if you're a market regulator. That's what you are when you approve a pilot. You want to throw money in, you want to talk about Affordable Housing Trust money, CDBG grant money, you want to talk about a RAB, that's your money at risk. That's when you get to say, you got to use union labor. And I've held back on this project multiple times, but I'm not going to hold back now. This was a project that my client wanted to make affordable. Okay? Just to satisfy Councilman Carroll, to let you know, we are looking for opportunities to do that. And all we needed was access through the Housing Authority parking lot. And when we approached the Housing Authority about that, they said no. So we're trying, but we can't fight the fight when people are holding our arms back. We really can't. We got to have some help. All right? So
we don't want
Yeah, we
to
don't wanna get into
we don't
that.
want to.
no, I understand, but we get beat up.
Representation here, I don't.
I understand, but this project in particular that we're talking about, which is 03, or whatever we were on, this particular project, we were trying to make an affordable project. So it's not like we're not looking for opportunities, we are. And I just want that on the record, thank you.
I appreciate that. So Director Skillner, just for all intents and purposes, very quickly to summarize, the requirements, the community contribution, the dollar amount, all things of that nature, whether it be in the redevelopment plan or the financial agreement, are all binding agreements. So the developer, their representative, of which Mr. Maselli is one, they are bound by the terms of that agreement,
Yes,
collectively as a package.
as long as the council approves each of the agreements individually, yes. But that's why
I
there's-
personally want to do
Yeah.
something with parking. We talked about parking decks,
That-
and having the developers pay into that.
And-
So
and-
when Mr. Opel gives me his report from McMahon and Scott,
Well-
Bauman, I want to see if there's a portion of those
Well-
pilot money that can go towards that, because that's something else
That-
in the neighborhoods as well.
The community benefit payment there, again, is broadly worded as to parks, parking lots, infrastructure, needs of the community that, again, redevelopment is supposed to serve. We can identify projects, that like we've done in the past with other redevelopments, Councilman Booker, you were very, advocating for the park on Avenue C, and West 19th Street.
Of which I negotiated that deal at a reduced rate.
Yes, with the second property on there. And again, community benefit give back on the pilot was that the developer in that case had to build us the park.
A fully accessible park.
Yes. So that is.
In the interest of time.
Yeah.
I-
Look, in the interest of time, if NW is here to discuss, if you want to get into the financial specifics of this pilot, they're here to go into it. Again, I think we've discussed all policies, legal thresholds for pilots, the but-for test there. And again, just showing the overall, benefit between current taxes, current city share of those taxes to what the city anticipates when the pilots are built. Well,
We have one more person who wants to speak. Sir, you want to come up to the microphone?
Thank you, Director.
Over here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great.
Please state your name and.
Sure, Bob Lake, 55 West First Street, Bayonne, New Jersey, 82 years. Okay. I didn't originally come here for other reasons I'm going to speak about later when I get a chance. What I hear up here, this whole project should be thrown in the garbage. Bayonne is overbuilt now. How much you want to put in a town that was built for 50 to 60,000 people? Are they going to pay for the schools? Let me hear that. Are they going to pay for my granddaughter's taxes, 20,000? You want to pay 20% of everybody's taxes in Bayonne? Blue-collar jobs, that's a mystery here. I'm a retired longshoreman, 40 years, they're gone. Not your administration, past me. They buried this town. This town is legitimately broke in my eyes. There is no blue-collar jobs. You can't get a job to pay their rents. They're forcing all true Bayonnites out. They want all the money from maybe New York, but that ain't gonna last. Eventually, I might not be around to see it, you're gonna have Section 8s in here. That's what you're gonna have in these houses. You're blocking up all the areas with high-rise. How many high-rises do you need in a small town like this? You gotta stop. Tell them to take a walk. That's what I tell them. And I'll be back. Thank you.
Good speaker.
Hello, my name is Joan Passariello. I live at 25 Country Village Court here in Bayonne. I just want to read a note. I'm not fully educated on all the agreement aspects. However, I'd like it noted that some of the property owners requesting abatement awards this evening have not adequately maintained their properties. A recent inspection would show that several sidewalks may remain covered with ice, lack securement and safety, creating hazardous conditions for our residents. Property owners who fail to meet basic maintenance responsibilities should not be rewarded abatements. If they are not demonstrating care and compliance now, it's inappropriate to grant them financial incentives. Last, you mentioned the deficit. As far as the deficit, you should have truly considered the past $20 million adoption that Ms. Nadrowski mentioned at a prior meeting regarding one of the base properties that was held for many years. That's what I have to say.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes.
All right. Hi, good evening, City Council. My name's William Ryan. I'm a lifelong resident of Bayonne, formerly of 56th Street and currently of East 19th Street. I serve as a Democratic committeeman to my district in Ward 2. I come to you as a concerned citizen looking to speak on behalf of my block, East 19th Street. I know we're talking about the ordinance on East 18th, but that, involves us as well a little bit. Last year, construction began on a brand-new apartment on Avenue E. While the initial construction did create issues for commuters coming down 19th Street, such as making it harder to make a left turn or creating a blind spot if you're trying to make a right turn, people adjusted and they made do. However, this past fall, when construction began,
Please
on
smash the
another
like button,
apartment
everyone.
directly
Thank you for
across the
joining.
street from my own apartment, our beleaguered block, already besieged by heavy traffic due to the restaurants and the light rail nearby, the parking became incredibly limited. As stated, East 19th Street between Broadway and Avenue E has limited parking because of not just the parking lot for the restaurants, but also 19 East and a funeral home and the parking, the parking entrance for the senior apartments. RIFCON, the construction company working on this project, has eliminated anywhere, I'm estimating, between 40 to 65% of parking on our block, including the indefinite removal of parking starting after 35 to 37 East 19th Street, and a constant flux of no parking across the street, beginning at 36 East 19th Street. The eliminated parking on the even numbered sides of the street can last for a day and go up to 3 days or even a week. Almost all no parking signs have been for a stated 24 hours. On those days, that leaves free residential parking to the span of 19 East to 35, 37 East 19th Street and parking in front of 22 East 19th Street, creating a mad scramble to find parking on Avenue E or any of the neighboring blocks. Water pressure from sinks and faucets to showers and toilets have been constricted due to RIFCON's use of the fire hydrant in front of the funeral home. This past week, residents of East 19th Street had to endure the most egregious of RIFCON's neglect and pulverize the block's quality of life. Last Wednesday, they put up no parking cones and signs on everybody's front door stating that you had to remove your car by 6 a.m., but they would be done by 4:30 p.m. That wasn't the case. Construction went on until well after 10 p.m. when one of my neighbors finally came out and pleaded and screamed for them to stop and to let the children and adults on the block sleep peacefully. That the 4:30 time frame gives commuters time to come home and relax and spend time with their families or themselves if they're single, but they can't do that. Construction's going on till 10 p.m. And I've been given permission to share this anecdote from another fellow resident on East 19th Street. On November 25th, a fellow resident was returning her mother home from Bayonne University Hospital. Because of the kindness of a childhood friend, he allowed her to park in front of the family's driveway, so her mother, struggling with cancer that had spread to her back and caused immense back pain, struggled to get out of her daughter's car and make her way to her apartment with her oxygen tank. The next morning, on November 26th, her mother went back to the hospital, this time at Jersey City Medical Satellite Care Center on Broadway. Paramedics were forced to double park by her apartment, which caused some traffic for those coming down East 19th Street. The following week, she passed away. I'm allowed to share that story to reflect the struggles of East 19th Street's residents. It shouldn't be a struggle to return a loved one home from the hospital or to take anyone to the hospital. This needs to change. Last Friday, a new slew of no parking signs went up for January 19th through the 23rd. Yesterday and Monday, there was no work done because of the weather, right? And work began today. But I would just ask if we can maybe adjust those signs on days where there's perceived no work to be having. I'm not suggesting anybody, union or not union, work in these conditions. It's harshly cold outside, I get it. But the quality of life for children has been affected as they can no longer enjoy playing games on their block. Seniors have issues getting to medical appointments or having their groceries delivered, and disabled people, including myself, who suffers from cystic fibrosis, are forced to endure the loud noise of construction and breathe in the toxins from the construction. The plumbing issues have become unbearable. Parking and traffic has become a nightmare every night for the residents who don't live in 19 East or 33 to 37 East 19th Street, where there is a little parking lot for their apartments behind them. Our environment has become inhabitable for all residents. Every time there's a huge rainstorm on our block, flooding occurs at the end of the block, which I'm sure will only be made worse and detract prospective residents looking to move into a new apartment. I urge the City Council to come up with a real solution for these pressing issues before even more residents move to our block. I understand there's a plan for a parking lot with the new apartments, and that's great, but that doesn't take into the fact that these people have families and friends who may want to visit and spend time, and they're going to be looking for parking. And that's, going to create even more of a mad scramble for parking. And these people that are going to move into their apartments, they will have families. Some of them may just be here for a proverbial cup of coffee before moving on to the suburbs, but I'm sure some of those people are also going to want to raise their family on East 19th Street. So the City Council, I'm just trying to figure out, how do we plan on addressing these issues, and how do we deal with RivCon's negligence for our community? Thank you.
So I'm going to address you if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I
sure.
apologize.
Yeah.
I'm Jacqueline Weimer. I oversee the ward that you reside in.
Right.
And I'm very sorry that you have gone through that. What I would ask you to do is if I could speak with you, and if you don't want to stay for the entire meeting, I can certainly understand that.
Okay.
But if I could reach out to you, if you could certainly reach out to me. And I apologize, I've been traveling for the last couple of weeks, so
That's okay.
I'm just returning. But if I could speak with you separately, I think perhaps if we could get in touch with the people that are overseeing that project, and then perhaps speak with Director Kavanaugh, who is here in the audience somewhere. Director Kavanaugh, if you don't mind, if I could ask you to hand the gentleman either your business card or to give him my number, perhaps we could join with you and we could speak with you, and we could, together, we might speak with the people that run that project and see what we can do for that block specifically.
Yeah, I mean, we went from, the lot that was there, just the person who owned that lot, I would reach out to Mrs. McNulty, I think, almost once a month.
She's a great resource.
Asking her to please reach out to the person who owned it
Yeah.
I mean, it would be months. I couldn't walk my dogs
Right,
just
we'll-
to go to the
we'll make
bathroom.
sure, and I appreciate that you
Now,
bring that
yeah.
to our.
And now there's
our
this issue,
attention.
so-
Yeah, we'll absolutely make sure that we do that, and we'll make sure that we address that for you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir, sir. We passed a local ordinance where they can only do construction work from a certain time to a certain time.
I'm sorry, what was that?
From 7 in the morning to a certain time. They cannot go beyond that certain time. 10 o'clock is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I think
Joe,
we'd all
never
agree
let
with that.
happen again.
And if that happens, you call the local PD. We have an ordinance, and they will enforce it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think there was a cop there that was blocking traffic. I don't know for how long. I'm not gonna say that they were still there at that time, but yeah, to 10 p.m. is, I
Yeah, so we'll
think,
make sure
excessive.
that we address that for you, but it's highly, if there was an emergency issue, which I believe there was in that area, so if there was some emergency work going on, that's something that we couldn't control, but certainly we'll go ahead and take care of that, and we'll look into that further.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else on O3? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Second.
Motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And resolution ordering final passage.
So moved. Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
No.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
04 is an ordinance approving the financial agreement binding between the City of Bayonne and Golden Apple Capital Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 935-939 Broadway, which is identified as Block 85, Lots 23, as shown on the official tax map of the city. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting and January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council president, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city and Golden Apple Capital Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 935-939 Broadway. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close? On the motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
No.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
05 was an ordinance approving a financial agreement by and between the city of Bayonne and Kennedy M.W. Urban Renewal.
Nah, we're moving.
Located at 361-336,
5,
365-367,
19 to go.
373 Kennedy Boulevard, which is identified as Block 262, Lot 7, 8, and 9, as shown on the official tax map of the city, which is introduced at the meeting held December, passed it for first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards of private law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of January 21st. Now before the council for its consideration and the public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Booker, will you second? On that resolution, Mr. Booker. Is titled an ordinance of the city of Bayonne approving the financial agreement by and between the city and Kennedy M.W. Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 361-363, 365-367, and 373 Kennedy Boulevard. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to hear concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Yeah, they're moving quick on the ordinances. Welcome, everyone. I'm Leroy Truth.
And the resolution.
Leroy's Investigations. I'm sitting in the front here.
And that resolution is on the passage.
Most people aren't talking against the ordinances, mainly that one.
Mr. Perez.
After the 24 ordinances, then there's public speaking. And there's about maybe 15 people before me.
05 is an ordinance approving a financial agreement by and between the city of Bayonne and 102-116 Avenue E, Bayonne Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 102.5-116 Avenue E, which is identified as Block 467, lots 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, as shown on the official tax map of the city.
This is actually 06, Madeline, just,
Okay, I have two old slides, so it is 06. Okay. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and the public hearing. And resolution moved by the council president, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city and 102-116 Avenue E, Bayonne Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 102.5-116 Avenue E. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections.
I thought that gentleman was going to speak, but he's not. Maybe going to the restroom.
May I have a motion to close? Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the resolution ordering final passage.
Move it.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
No.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
07 is an ordinance approving a financial agreement by and between the city and Broadway Partners, NES Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 431-439 Broadway, 11-13 West 19th, and 10-12 West 20th, which is identified as Block 220, lots 18, 23, 24, 25, and 26, and shown on the official tax map of the city, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law. With notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and the public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Booker, give the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title. An ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city of Bayonne and Bayonne Partners, NES Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 431-439 Broadway, 11-13 West 19th, and 10-12 West 20th. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Second.
Motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it. Second.
Resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
No.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
08 is an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city and QOZ Prospect Property Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 33 Prospect Avenue, which is identified as Block 445, Lot 1101, as shown on official tax map, was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law. We've noticed that it would be further considered for final passage following public hearing at this meeting before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, give the ordinance second reading. Mr. La Palusa with the second.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Step down.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city and QOZ Prospect Property Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 33 Prospect Avenue. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Mr. Carroll, you want to hear some of the details?
Yeah, as I understand it, this is one of those instances where there's some mitigating factors and it's addressing an issue of need.
Yes, and again, to the overall redevelopment package, you know, while the redevelopment agreement addressed, you know, those mitigating factors, on this one, this is the financial agreement on the, to make sure that the terms work beneficial. Part of the issue here is the city of Bayonne, through our water utility easement, we have our force main on this property. This is the easement that connects us from Oak Street all the way to Passaic Valley. While this project has been going on for almost 8 years, back and forth with the city engineers, back in front of the planning board multiple times, part of the concerns was when we started, you know, doing, you know, enforcing more of our protocols to make sure that the water utility, our assets are protected. We found a couple issues. One issue being that the pipe was built out of the easement area. So it's pre-stressed concrete, so it's best that it not move. So the developer was accommodating on setting back the building there. There's a shoring plan in place to protect the pipe once they start construction. But And again, while that's all addressed in the redevelopment agreement, the financial agreement in that regard, there were some financial impacts onto the developer. One of those mitigating circumstances that, in the event of, if there is a breakage during the construction of it, that they have, that pipe on site. They won't be able to, it's a long lead time to order that, but, we have to, in the event that there is an emergency, God forbid, hope for the best but prepare for the worst. So that pipe has to be, on site during the construction of this project. Assuming everything goes well and the pipe doesn't have to be used, there's no benefit to the developer to keep it. However, there is a benefit for the city to have that in our in storage in the event that there is a collapse elsewhere throughout the line. That we have the pipe.
Pipe is where it's a value to us in the city.
Huge
Even though
value.
there's not a financial give back in this, the pipe
Yeah.
has a big value, which is our give back.
And again, in doing the financial analysis on that, that's one of the mitigating factors into the overall construction costs. So, part of what NW does with their analysis, again, they look at what the market rate, what overall construction costs, and again, identifying a larger, normal construction cost here kind of raises some questions, but that, is explained away by the fact of we're requiring them to have this pipe on site. So,
Thank you.
And that's being done because the potential,
yes.
if there is an issue, is detrimental to that community, to our entire community.
It's detrimental to the city on that.
Yeah.
That is
It's a necessity, it's not
a
an option.
necessity, yeah.
Yep, thank you, George.
You want to speak?
Yes.
Mr. Lake? Yes.
I have to give my name
Yeah, every time, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
You've been up here a lot, we know you know. the-
I was up here for 10 years straight. The old Mike. 10 years straight with good guys. This board is a lot better than the last one, believe me.
For that.
Yeah,
No,
thank you.
and that's true, but there's, you don't work with those communists, do you?
No,
Listen, why I'm back up here, he opened the door again. He's still pleading for the job, for him to get this job, this building done. That belongs in the government. Tell me that he's paying taxes. No disrespect. I don't know if he lives in Bayonne. Do you live in Bayonne? The guy that was up here? He does live in Bayonne?
He does.
Well, well, he's spending his money like us, and that's not good. I make a suggestion, if you're gonna approve this project, you make them sign a contract with the city. And all the two-family owners and one-family owners in Bayonne, that they pay 20% of their taxes.
So you know what, Mr. Lake?
They got plenty of money. Money is no object for these
I just
people.
want to share with you that this particular project is actually an empty lot. It is-
Yeah, but they're gonna build.
They are going to build.
Yeah, sure. Not to our benefit. The rent's gonna go back up higher. We can't, listen, we're just about hanging on now. Let's talk reality, how bad this, the whole country, but we live in Bayonne, New Jersey. 40 years on the waterfront down the military base, gone. They got a cruise line. That ain't helping us. They got a ship repair. That ain't helping us. And I'll agree with it. There is no $20, $30, $40 an hour jobs anymore. White collar is dead in Bayonne. They chased it out. The last 2 of them before you people. I mean, how much do you want to close these people in? Our people. You can't go on Broadway. Have you taken a survey how many people actually came into the city in the last 5, 7, 8 years? We're overloaded. Go on Broadway. There's more double park cars than Newark Airport. I mean, really. I mean, don't let, it's true. You try to go to a store, you can't park. Everybody that came into this, the ones that have money, they got 3 cars, 4 pit bulls, and God knows if they're not getting free rent. We've been paying through the nose since the beginning of time. Bayonne was always a good town. Right now, it's really in trouble. And they could talk about 20 years from now. My grandkids and my great-grandkids ain't going to see the benefits, but they do. They live in the high rise. They don't live in Bayonne. They're going to go party somewhere. They make a lot of money on our sweat. That's what they do. Thanks, Mr. LaPalooza.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage have been filed with me. A motion to close. On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the resolution ordering final passage. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
This is one of those examples where there is a direct benefit to almost every citizen in town. And, you know, you've sat in the audience, you've listened to me say no the last 10 or 11 times, but this is one of those that makes sense to me, and I have to vote aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
09 is an ordinance approving a financial agreement. I know, get the word first, I put it on the record first.
Sure. Thank you.
Approving the financial agreement binding between the city and 2834 East 22nd Street Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 28-34 East 22nd Street, which is identified as Block 212, lots 30, 31, and 32, as shown on the official tax map of the city, which was introduced to pass the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and
11 speakers on the 11th.
motion on the floor to postpone to the meeting of February 18th. Who'd like to second?
And if I may, we actually looked back at the resolution. There was an incorrect reference in the project description on this, so we thought it best a substantive change to the form of the ordinance. So I thought it best that it be carried. It doesn't need to be reintroduced. It will be republished for that February, I'm sorry, was that 18th meeting?
February 18th.
Yes.
So on the postponement, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
010 is an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city and 1037-1041 Broadway Urban Renewal.
Welcome, everyone. If you just joined me, I'm Leroy Truth, and you're at the Bayonne, New Jersey Council meeting. And we're about Ordinance 9 out of 24, and then public speaking. I'm number 11 out of 11.
Was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin.
I'll be asking some important questions and also exposing a very dirty, corrupt Hudson County sheriff. It's insane. He allegedly assaulted a female officer. He's not fired, not arrested, not charged. And he's the head of the Democratic Committee here in Bayonne, New Jersey. I'm going to ask them to immediately remove him tonight because there was an internal investigation and the findings were sustained that he sent pictures of his private parts to a female Hudson County officer, and that he also allegedly assaulted her by trying to unhook her bra while she was working. It's insane that he was not fired and arrested. I'm going to ask them, it's more elegant to ask they remove him today. Plus he has contracts with his private landscaping company called Lawn Enforcement, or something like Lawn enforcement, something like that. He has contracts with Bayonne, New Jersey. They must cancel them immediately.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll.
No.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
11 is an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city and 1012-1022 Avenue C Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 1012-1022 Avenue C, which is identified as Block 64, Lots 2 and 3, as shown in the official tax map of the city, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council and for its consideration and a public hearing. And the resolution moved by the council president, give the ordinance second reading. Mr. Booker, will you second? On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city of Bayonne and 1012-1022 Avenue C, Urban Renewal LLC, for the property located at 1012-1022 Avenue C. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Second.
Motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it. Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
No.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
12 is an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city of Bayonne and Bayonne Partners Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at Memorial Boulevard, which is identified as Block 830, lots 2.01, 2.02, 3.01, 3.02, 4.01, and 4.02, as shown on the official tax map. It was introduced at the meeting of December 17th, but was not published in the Bergen Record, so there's a motion on the table. May I take a motion on to postpone to February 18th meeting? And on postponement to the next meeting, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
13 is approving an amended financial agreement by and between the city and Sri Lakshmi Urban Renewal LLC for the property identified as Block 751, lots 1.06, 1.07, 1.07, 8, 1.09, 1.10, 1.12, 1.14, and 16, as shown on the official tax map of the city. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record, and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered final passage following a public hearing of this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council president, given the ordinance second reading. Mr. Booker, will you second?
Excuse me, Council President, I'd like a little bit more clarity on this, if I may. Director, can you please just refresh? Sure.
Mr. Skillinger? And explain the phase.
Sure, so to the overall redevelopment package here, part of, again, the adoption a couple months ago for the redevelopment plan on the base that approved a 50-story tower. Subsequently, there was a filing with the planning board amending and approving the GDP, or the general development plan, to discuss how over time, I mean, you can get to the level of a 50-story tower. You know, it's not happening, you know, being built right now, but because of the law allowing for phasing of a project, you know, based on the market conditions, allowing first for there to be, you know, 6-story buildings being built, and then once when the market stabilizes, getting to 12, 18, you know, 25, going up 35, 40, then 50. But that's a, you know, that's a generation worth of development there. So part of the ordinance that being introduced, tonight, or sorry, up for hearing tonight, is dealing with the phasing of the pilot. So within there, again, looking at the terms that we've spent months negotiating on with the developer and between the developer and the city on that, and part of it is, on how to now achieve the building of that general development plan. So basically what the ordinance is here for tonight on, there's a multi-tier system that, certain buildings constructed during certain times have a percentage, but ultimately this is for the building of that project, where each building itself would get its own individual pilot, but under recent updates to the long-term tax exemption law, allowed for a longer build-out period instead of the general 5 years, allows that time period to be extended for multi-phase projects to 20 years. So in essence, a 50-year pilot that allows for 20 years of build-out, and then once built out, 30 years on the extension as the maximums there. So that's kind of what this overall ordinance is. If need be, and then we get into the specifics as to the negotiated structure of the terms.
Director Skilner, do I understand correctly that the reason for the request that was put in front of us for the potential to build up to those 50 stories was because of the bedrock where that building will sit, and then the safety and security of that structure in relation to the community surrounding it? Yes. Required that it was a very in-depth project going underground into that bedrock?
The entirety of Moppy is landfill. There's,
right.
That's not a natural piece of land. It's constructed over multiple years. One of the New Deal projects allowed, again, for the base to be operational during World War II to all the way up to Desert Storm, closing in 2000. Part of the bedrock issue here is we did require them to do a geotech survey and other developers around the area too to kind of confirm. So naturally, where this falls into, it's in a gully, so it starts by the Costco side, roughly between 60 to 80 feet, and then dropping off to 100 to 120 feet the further you go out. But then ultimately it picks back up the further you go out. But as you if you put a building that's more than 6 stories, the footings and foundations have to hit bedrock, so the construction costs really escalate immensely, and especially because it's brackish salt water. So, in addition to hitting bedrock, almost 100 feet deep, and then dealing with the salt layer, the extreme amount of cost, and in order to recover, you have to go vertical. So that's kind of the consideration.
And just to again clarify, the intent of prior administrations, as well as, I think it's fair to say, as well as at least a good portion of us up here, is that this type of a building is really most appropriate in that area. And,
yes.
And quite honestly, I can only hope to be around to see the completion of this building, because the potential benefit and the recreational activity and socialization and the development of that area is what I hope to someday see.
Agreed, and part of this, again, is finally a realization. We are one of the last towns that actually received a gift. We bought the base for $1 from the federal government, so with the intent that these closed military bases really bring on, new revenue to the city, new tax rateable, and new community. I mean, very rarely, we're luckily, one of the few towns that have, a clean slate where the infrastructure can be built properly, and
revenue that was not otherwise there in
yes.
prior years. And then I might just point out, I think I'm quite familiar with the owners of this property, or with this property in general. These owners own this property for quite some time as well, and they have continuously, they maintain their property, they pay their taxes, they have no outstanding fines or fees or permit fees or anything of that nature. So this is really, I think we could honestly say these are probably true friends to this community.
What I will say on this, to the purchase and sale agreement and the redevelopment agreement, they did not have to buy the property when they did. they were obligated to buy, and the city had a contract that has a team, would want to put each building in phase down, they would buy that. From a financial point to the city would have no revenue on that, we'd have a tied up agreement in place, on property that did not bring in any value. With them purchasing it all up front to the maximum purchase price negotiated at the time, they have been continually making, the tax payments on land that, was not calculated, it's basically additional revenue that wasn't anticipated, but we'll gladly take it, so.
But I recognize also a mutual agreement in that they did get that probably at a lower rate years ago, but they have maintained the expenses
So
on
this
it.
is the kind of project, it's in my ward, that I wanna see down the base where there's no 1 and 2 family homes being put out. I worry about that on the other side of, the base. So I would never approve a project like that in those neighborhoods. But in this neighborhood, this is exactly the type of project I'd like to see. And, it's a clean slate, basically, starting over, and, they have the opportunity to do something really special here. And, that's why I would also be in favor of this.
All right, Director, thank you for that explanation, and save you a few steps. So 013 and 014 are tying together, is that correct?
014, I believe is a similar thing, but the 014 is a request from the, developer's, lender on that one. So it's more of a mortgage contingency as they're finalizing the last, phase, of their build out. It's the, for 014, for the public, it's, Halpern's, on that, property, so they're finalizing the last, they're building the last project, and their lender, this was a condition of their, requirement to close the, permanent loan, and move to a construction loan, or move away from a construction loan to a permanent loan.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Is there something on this project?
What he brought up.
Can I get through the
It's all
procedure
about
first?
him.
Let the clerk do her procedure first, just 1 minute.
So on second reading, Mr. Booker.
I want to talk when he opened the door again.
Okay, just give us 1 minute, you can talk.
Okay, he said we sold the base for $1. How much bonded debt was left? Did they pay it off?
Just let the
I'll vote
clerk
on
finish
second.
what she's got to
You
do.
guys full of baloney, this guy.
Ms. Carroll,
Yes.
Again, this is to,
to adopt the second reading resolution.
aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And now the council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to hear concerning it.
Thank you.
Council President will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
He just
Mr.
did.
Lake, go
He
ahead.
just did. Thanks, guy. He brought up, is this project gonna be down the military base?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Is it where the fire department is in that area? That land?
In that area.
It's part of the base.
Yes.
We got it for $1 during the Doria administration. When they got out, don't hold me to it, I think it was like $350 million in bonded debt. Is that bonded debt clear of this city right now?
That old debt is done.
It's done? Who paid? Him? Did he pay it? Well, let's,
The city, he
Huh?
represents the office that.
because
he did.
he's throwing a lot of money around. But why don't he throw it to the citizens of Bayonne? Give them a little share of what they're gonna make.
These are gonna pay money that.
He ain't gonna do, he's all BS. That's what he is. He might be, I'm a street guy. I don't have the education yet, but he ain't kind of me. And I hope he ain't, I got 500 to 700 citizens in Bayonne behind me when it's time to come. And if you better, I say you should take this, throw it in the garbage can, work on something for the people, not for them. It's all about them and money. They don't care about us. They don't care about you or anybody. They don't care about any. They don't have their kids going to these schools, grandkids going to these schools. They're all nonsense. These guys are for themselves. They're money groped. I don't want to use certain words. I wish I could, but I can't. No, I won't. But listen, I'm born and raised in the street. 82 years. I've dealt with these type guys. They're phonies. They're worse than a $3 bill. $3 bill you could maybe cash somewhere. They got you all full of smoke and mirrors, and you're gonna fall for the sucker move. What they're gonna do, if there's anything better to do with that land, how much did they pay for it? Could you
What would
answer?
you suggest we do with that?
Listen, I'm not an architect. I'm not an engineer.
No.
What I would do there, all those homes they burn them down. That's what I'd do. I'd
This
burn
guy
them
is
down
priceless. God bless him.
and put the
Wow.
base back for blue collar workers where they had. Listen, not to interrupt. I started that job for $2 an hour. $2 an hour is 1961. What kind of job are you going to give me now? Nothing.
I don't know, what do you want to do?
You know what I want to do? I want to be able to afford him. I want to be able to afford him and his nonsense. I got nothing personally against him. I know he's working for the.
I want to share with you, he works for the city, so he comes pretty cheap.
He works. Well, he better cash his check. He better cash his. And not for nothing. Who's this new gentleman? Haven't been here in so many years. Who's he?
I'm John Winchescala. I'm outside redevelopment council.
Oh, yeah, that's another enemy. That's another enemy.
This guy just
Another
made this
BS.
meeting. Oh my God. God
No,
bless him.
He's for them. How about you people be for us? For us.
We are.
Not when you're talking about approving his project. It's not in our interest. It's not my grandkids' interest. They'll never see the benefits of it.
You know what, Mr. Lake, I can only pray to God that you.
How about putting a ball field down there, a major league ball field? How about putting a
He is very
football
smart.
field where you
He
get
is very smart.
100,000 fans
Street
every
smart
week?
is made
How
more
about
important
something like
than
that?
going to
You got
college.
the land,
He's amazing.
build it. Yous build it, and yous make the profit for us. They did it in Buffalo.
They did, but that didn't work out well for them last weekend, I'm just saying.
Don't go. You wish you had made the money that team made. But,
I do.
but
Thank you, Mr.
take,
Lake.
Like somebody else wants to speak.
yeah, okay. You don't have to brush me off. I understand that BS.
Anthony Francaneri, 105 West 41st Street. Bobby, I don't think you want to burn the base down. My son lives down there, right?
Well, we'll make an exception.
Said to make an exception.
Council, thank you for allowing
Not
me to
burn
speak.
somewhere down.
I support this bill. I'm a lifelong resident of Bayonne, former business owner in Bayonne. Short story, 2006, my brother and I opened a restaurant down in the South Cove Commons with the foresight of the base starting to be built. Housing bubble came 2008, one phase was done, and many, many years later, nothing happened, right? To get to now, we got out of the business in 2012. I know the existing owner, he just changed hands. He's surviving still, even with all that development, and many other small businesses in town are surviving. This development that this developer is planning on doing is gonna bring more people, different type of people that will spend more money. And hopefully the business that we started many years ago will finally thrive. And that's why I support this bill, and I hope you support it as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Francaneri.
How are you? My name is David Rivera, 103 West 42nd Street. Mr. Francaneri, I feel you. I had a business here in Bayonne for about 10 years, and it wasn't easy to be here during those times. But I could see that this development here is gonna bring so many more people to the town. It's gonna bring so many more businesses to the town. It's gonna raise this town up. And I believe 100% this type of development is perfect where it is. If they do 50 stories, it's great. And I back this 100%. Hopefully you all do, and hopefully our town will continue to move forward. And this is a great idea. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
The council already made their mind up. They know they're going to vote for it. The people's input is completely irrelevant.
Hey, Pat Desmond, 131 West Fourth. I'm not against this project at all, but you're gonna have to build the fire department up. You realize 50 stories, you're gonna have to get new equipment here. And I'm sure Weaver knows that. You're gonna need new equipment.
We actually asked the chief before approving those things.
Yeah, I just want to point that out. And so when you talk to them about the development project, let them buy a new fire engine or something.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Rod.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Melissa Rada, 399 Kennedy. I also support this project. I invite all of you to take a ride down there and see what's already started. Because what his vision of what he wants to do and give back to our community and to bring people together from every part is amazing. Like, it's something different than what we've been seeing. So I've spent time with him. I've actually, yes, I am broker of Keller Williams.
And Ms. Rod, I'm certain that you're probably most intrigued by the community stage that will be down there as
Yes,
well. and recreational
exactly.
area for our children and I thought that might interest you as well.
Very, and it's, it's not only about real estate, right? So it's not only for the residents that live there, it's for the whole community. And just seeing, a big difference in the restaurants, the food court that he's bringing, all the different nationalities that he's bringing in, all the ethnicities of food. So I support this 100%, and I thank you for creating this.
Thank you.
Anybody else got a comment? Okay, Ms. Medina?
No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close? Motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
I'd like to clarify, somebody used the phrase enemy and some inflammatory language. All the people associated with this are excellent people. And I think Ms. Weaver used the term friends of the community and friends of the city, and they absolutely are. No one goes into a project, even if they're projects I oppose, where it's saying they want to destroy the city. That's not the case. Everybody wants to do something good for the city. My concern about this, and I've been an opponent, and I don't begrudge anyone associated with it. Business owners, we want to see businesses do well. Real estate, we want to see everybody touched by these things so that they can rent out the units and so forth. And again, talking about that tide lifting all boats. But the issue at hand goes back to what I raised at the beginning of the meeting, and I said I wasn't going to comment on each of these pilots, but we have created a neighborhood down there. And so through one form or another, there are townhomes, there are smaller structures, there are traffic issues which are going to be addressed tonight, I understand. But we've created something that we now need to preserve. And so I can't support this in good conscience. Oh, I'm sorry.
By the way, people have told me that you guys have been eyeballing me all night. The guy you look, see right there, the guy someone alleged was a paid actor for that project.
I came in 2006 as a councilman. We were given the base back in 99 and 2000, and nothing was going on. There were all kinds of plans issued. There were 6 districts going to be. There was going to be thousands and thousands of homes. We were promised $1 billion in taxes were going to come out of this land. And then we slowly saw nothing happen. Then an administration prior to the Davis administration sold off a huge chunk of that money and only saved 55 acres. I was against that sale, and I watched the base Davis administration came in 2014, and some things started to change.
Jimmy Davis, dirty. He was Bayonne mayor for years. Now he's the county sheriff. Alleged sexual harasser. Big time. Hundreds of thousands of dollars paid out in settlements, and he was voted sheriff. Insane. And he's protecting Lieutenant Medvedro, the alleged S-predator, who was Hudson County sheriff and head of the Democratic Committee in Bayonne, New Jersey.
This building is something unique. I looked at the design of it, I looked at what they want to do, and he's not alone down there either. There's other people building down there that want to do some unique things, and these are things that can't be done in Bayonne proper. They can only be done down the base, or else they would put a lot of people out. And I'm the councilman for that ward, for where the base is, and the rest of Uptown, and I wouldn't allow a building like that to put that many people out on the other side. But down the base, this is the perfect fit. This is where we want that. This is gonna change Bayonne in every direction. We got such good things happening down that military base right now. You know, we have a ferry coming in. We have these other buildings coming in, and a lot of other development coming in right now. There's so many things with jobs, with UPS, warehouse, a couple other really, really good projects going on. This is the year New Jersey Transit is supposed to start a walkway over 440, so you can get there. There's talks about doing pedestrian walkways that link up that area of the military base with the shopping center. So I don't want to be too premature with that, because that still needs some work, but there's even talk about hotels now. So when all this is said and done, it's going to be more than a community. It might even be its own city.
Only one police officer here right now.
Probably out of politics, but it'll probably be the fourth ward down there. So with that, I'm really, really excited about this project. I think it's a great fit for the town, and I vote aye.
Is an ordinance approving an amended financial agreement by and between the city and Bayonne Bay Developers Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at the Peninsula, which is identified as Block 820, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city. Which was introduced and passed at the first meeting at the meeting held December 17. It was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage. Following a public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Booker, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance approving an amendment financial agreement by and between the city and Bayonne Bay Developers Urban Renewal LLC for the property located down the peninsula, which is identified as Block 820, Lot 1. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Can we just have a little clarity, Director Snelder, on what the actual amendment is? Is it a Scribner's error, or is there a substance?
I think it's just a corporate issue, actually, with the developer. I don't think it actually changes any of the terms of the financial agreement. Joe, just.
Yeah, this is the for Atlantic Realty for Halpern, for the townhomes styles that were built. This request came in from their lender as stated, so this, requirement.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close? On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
We're getting close to the public speaking time, everyone. Thanks for staying with me here. And God bless the other gentleman. I found out what his name was, the really interesting man.
And on the resolution for final passage, Mr. Booker.
The fireball.
Mr. Perez.
let's see his name. His name is Bobby Lake. And we're up to 15 out of 25? 24, 15 out of 24, then public comments. This is one of the longest meetings I've ever been to. It's like watching corn grow over an entire growing season with no rain and no fertilizer in the soil.
With notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And the resolution moved by Councilman Booker, given the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And second reading is by title, an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for the property located at 508 Avenue Way, 510-514 Avenue Way, and 134 West 22nd Street, which is identified as Block 208, Lots 1.01, 4, and 35. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protests against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close? On the motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
The next 9 are redevelopment plans.
I think they're going to go right through these next 9.
As to not speak on each one, my main concern was I asked that there be some affordability element in each, particularly workforce housing. I was told that there would be, and so forth.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
16 is ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for the property located at 657-660 Way, which is identified as Block 158, Lots 22, 23, and 24, as shown on the official tax map of the city, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. Introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Burton Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration.
Thank you, Dana Walmsley, for the $5 PayPal. God bless you. Everything you share will support the mission and the work I'm doing, everyone. So God bless you, Dana Walmsley, for the $5 PayPal.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for the property located at 657-663 Broadway. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. Any questions on 016? No protests against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So moved.
That's Madeline, and she seems like a very nice lady. But I would love to give her speaking lessons to speak more dynamically, make this meeting more fun.
Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And resolution ordering final passage.
Did you know how many ordinances are in here? They put the speaking after the 24th ordinance.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
There are like 60 or 70 ordinances they're going to go over today, but the speaking happens after the 24th.
120-122 West 33rd, which is identified as Block 143, Lot 28, as shown on the official tax map of the city, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. And the resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by the council president. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for the property located
forgot I brought an extra battery, though. I only have 12% left on my extra battery. Oh, my phone would have been dead an hour ago. We're going into 2 hours and 17 minutes. Now, what I actually got accomplished today so far?
Adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 653-657 Avenue E, 659 Avenue E, and 47 East 41st Street, which is identified as Block 989, Lots 13, 14, and 15, as shown on the official tax map of the city, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing. This meeting of January 21st is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council president, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye. Yeah, if I may, we just have a typo on the agenda. It's actually block 98, not 980. We do have that proper in the ordinance itself.
So block 98, right?
Block 98, yeah, 98.
Council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. Question on 018. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion is closed. Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the resolution is given its final passage.
Move it. Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
19 is an ordinance adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 81-87 East 22nd Street, which is identified as Block 449, Lots 6 and 7, as shown on the official tax map, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Booker, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the resolution ordering final passage.
Move it. Second.
Resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
No.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
20 is an ordinance adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 19-45 West 55th Street, which is identified as Block 28, Lots 2 and 3, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. It was introduced and passed at the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting on January 21st, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title. An ordinance adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 19-45 West 55th Street, which is identified as Block 28, Lots 2 and 3. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who protest against objection 2 or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So moved. Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the resolution for ordering final passage.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
No.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
21 is also a redevelopment plan for the property located at 958-968 Broadway, which is identified as Block 78, Block 44, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. It was introduced and passed first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council president, give the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, please second.
Second.
On the resolution for second reading, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for the property located at 958-968 Broadway, which is identified as Block 78, Lot 44. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
I want to, I have a couple of questions. Is Director Skillender, is he here in the room? Director, so I have a couple of questions because I believe we had a resident that did reach out to us with some concerns. And I want to make certain that this is the property located adjacent across the street to the east of Americana.
Yes, this is the TJ Car Wash site.
Okay, TJ Car Wash, okay. And this property, so the inquiry that we received in full disclosure from the community that somebody expressed was about perhaps the shadow impact of a building. And I think the building itself, Director, do you want to give us a little bit of history on that building?
So the project on this one, again, is TJ Car Wash site.
That's right.
On this, while it's no longer owned by the Clarkins, again, we did a good job of keeping up the property. The current property owners, could do a better job, keeping up with the repairs, covering up the cars, given the fact that, this is across from,
One might say it could use a facelift.
it needs a facelift. yes. So,
Me as well, but I
Yeah.
get it, okay.
so part of the negotiations, back and forth with the redeveloper on the, again, with this redevelopment plan, it's a gas station, oil tanks have to be removed from, and hopefully
It's
there's no.
going to require remediation as well.
Potentially. So
Potential, okay.
part of that is, again, with the request of similar projects being contemplated in the area, also with Americano and residents being next door. Again, it was being recommended that, a high-rise building be proposed on this site. So one of the things, while we had the discussions back with this during the hearing again, is make sure that the shadow study that be conducted and that the impacts show that it's not impactful onto the neighborhood there.
So we did ask for that shadow study, and I do think that was performed. I have a copy of it, so it was in my mailbox when I got here today. So the shadow impact to that, again, Americano is adjacent directly across the street, which is I believe it's a similar building, it's very similar in height. But the residents in that area, and again, from the shadow study, and I'm happy to share with anybody that would like it, but there is no impact whatsoever. So again, that building will be on the east side of Broadway as you're heading north.
Yes.
Last time I checked, the sun still rises in the east and sets in the west.
And
so
it's in the southern sky, so.
that's right. So it's a southern sky. So there's little. The shadow impact study shows absolutely no impact to the residents in that community as far as the shadow study or loss of natural light.
And I could even speak, because again, this is one block from my neighborhood. My family's been on 48th Street since the 40s. And even looking at where Americano is, I have to be on my second floor in the house to even see the top of it. So if it's a similarly sized building and I'm at 25th, 25 West 48th, it's halfway up the block from there, and I still can't see, basically the top of Americano, the building that houses Americano. So something of that size again.
And it's on a main avenue.
It's on the main avenue.
It is a direct thoroughfare right to the highway, to the turnpike, to Avenue.
Yes, you're close to Turnpike exit. You're close to, again, the entrances onto Mockbee, to use the other exits to the Turnpike or to 440. So.
Okay, I just
Yeah,
wanted
and
to
again,
raise, I don't even know if the residents here or if they're watching, but I wanted to make sure that they knew that we addressed their concerns, and that was the outcome.
The other thing too is also for this, we want to encourage, development around transit sites. This is near close proximity to 45th Street Light Rail. So, it's part of the area, again, it's somewhat blighted, you have certain sites that, again, were great businesses, 20, 30 years ago that just aren't there anymore. I mean, Baruli's is gone, Avanti's is gone, we had a good thriving corridor that, up until really Americano, even, Corner Square taking over Joe's Pizzeria spot, I mean, that's sat vacant for how long? So.
I'm not crazy about having a 10-story building, 150 feet high on one end, and right across the street having another, and it does change wind patterns. There's a lot of other things involved there. I wish the developer could have come down a little bit, maybe 7 or 8 stories. I know they would have had a chip bluestone, it was an expense, but they did do it across the street.
Yeah, the bluestone, again.
That's my concern. The last time when Resnick's came up, there was several hundred people here complaining.
Look, I heard
Not
that.
about the chipping, complaining that they had 150-foot buildings there. So that's my concern.
Mr. Skiller, isn't it 20 feet shorter?
It's 30 feet short, it's 120.
30 feet shorter than Americano, right?
And it's also on how the topography is, it's also at a lower point. I mean, at that side of Bayonne, you're on the downslope of, the rock. No, but yeah.
Are we gonna get additional parking out in the street once they build this building, like 5?
You'll recover, parking spots, because the entrances to the curb cuts that exist for TJ Carver for the gas station are gonna have to come back to the city, so that's more parking meters that we can put in and install there.
And that stone, that bluestone.
Palisades Rock, yeah, Palisades Blue.
When they were building that 46th Street building, everybody was complaining.
2 years.
Because that was loud. Now, over there is not just in the front, not the back. Am I correct?
Look, that bluestone is all over town. We are built on Palisade Rock. Overall, it's not that deep within the ground.
A lot of it uptown.
Yeah. So, and what's worse about uptown is it's also at a shorter, depth for the topsoil. So, look, I remember hearing, the chipping, away, hearing it in my basement. I understand the constant knocking, so, but now that it's been built, it's kind of changed the community, it's nice to see, restaurants go in there, more live music, entertainment, jazz nights are very fun, so.
Better than a warehouse.
Well, yes, less traffic than at that point, so, or truck traffic.
Thank you.
Bob Lake, 55 West First Street. Is this the same gentleman that's with the other projects? Is he
This
with?
gentleman works for the city. He works for us, so he's going to be on every project.
Okay. What's his problem? I mean, he has problems. He just wants to. I know he's giving you information, but he's just cluttering this town so bad. It's bad enough I could see you are in favor of that other apple. But how many projects you want to bury us with? I mean, ain't there enough going on? Did you ever consider two major league stadiums down there? You have the land. You make a lot of money. Did you ever consider, anybody ever approach you with that?
No, not to my knowledge.
Well, I'm gonna write the Steinbrenner and have them come here.
I would love
I
that.
would
Oh,
love
yeah,
to do
yeah,
that.
maybe we could get rid of these guys. This guy in the corner, I don't know, he's a new bird, this guy. The guy over there. Whose place did he take?
Been around since like 2015.
This guy
Whose
is
place did he
priceless.
take? I've been out of here for 10 years or so. It was good in those days, but all those council people in the past, they don't live in Bayonne no more. They don't care about Bayonne. They're in Pennsylvania. They're down the shore. They're in Florida. At least you people are still here fighting.
Bobby
I'll
Lake.
give you that.
His name was Bobby
But
Lake.
I wouldn't give in to these, what I want to call them. Believe me, I wouldn't do it. Thanks.
So again,
Thank you.
Oh, you want to?
well, I just wanted to say, look, for the record, for the public, I'm Joe Skillender, I'm the Director of Economic Development, or Director of Planning, Zoning, and Development
Where you live.
for the city. I live on 48th Street. My family's been here since the 40s. My grandmother, Mr. Lake, was a principal of St. Vinny's.
Who gave you the job?
I was appointed here.
Bobby said, God bless you. Who gave you the job is what Bobby Lake just said.
With council consent on it, for my, work in real estate. Part of it, again, coming from here, I am a Bayonne person. My family's been here. We have roots in the community.
It's all about the money.
Director, you have to be with your resident.
Thank you, Mr.
We're happy to have you.
Rivera,
Thank you.
can you come up and speak, please?
It's all about money.
How are you? David Rivera, 103 West 42nd.
This is someone who's been eyeballing me all night
On this development.
for
I was
some
wondering,
reason.
The building itself, does it have setbacks or is it 100% lot coverage?
It's 5-foot setbacks.
Okay.
I believe that. Yeah. It meets all the necessary requirements. It does have, it also has some wonderful, appealing, aspects for the city. The intent does overlook, the skyline, so I do believe there's gonna also be a plan for restaurant or bar, some, it definitely will, be a building that is, has many of the same like attributes as Americano, in which it will continue to sort of raise the social bar here in Bayonne.
Oh, that's terrific. And nice to hear that because I'm from the third ward, of course, and I like to hear that this kind of development is happening up near where I used to have the restaurant. So
Good.
thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance, or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Second.
Motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the resolution order in final passage.
Move it. Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
I think I argue with Director Skillender up here more than anybody out there, but he's a good man with a good heart and a great Bayonne resident. I vote no on this project because I think this is one of those where we should be asking specifically for a parking give back, and it would benefit that community up there, especially when it comes to restaurants and the like. So I vote no.
Mr. Perez.
Yes, I am. If he's still around at the end, I'm going to see if I can interview
I fully intend to
Bobby
do
Lake,
that, but I
that older,
do want,
feisty gentleman.
The councilman know that I mirror his concerns with parking, and I can share with him, I'm very happy to share with him that in working with the developer on this project, we have actually increased it's not a requirement, it was a request from me that we allocate, additional parking over and above. And I want to say, because the addition of the restaurant will be in the building, I want to say there are 30 optional spaces that are added, 25 or so that were added that are not required, but that are being put there to be utilized for either daily visitors that come to visit residents or to be utilized over and above those required by the restaurant. So we are taking the parking into consideration as well. We all do know that we get those phone calls in our office on a daily basis. So that was taken into consideration here. The developer, while not required, did meet my request. So I do vote aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
The design of the building is very nice. You know, I showed the design, and I just wish it could have been shorter because there are problems with parking. We spoke about the wind. We're gonna get snow. When you have snow drifts get bigger around these taller buildings, there's a lot of other things involved here. You have another 10-story building across the street. We talked about the spot development and how it might be good to have some density, because that's the major word here, density all the time. So to have a 10-story building maybe on 25th Street where the Forum is, and they're giving us back all that space, right? That's another one coming up. I'm inclined to say yes, because there's no other 10-story building around. Russell's Auto Body is another one coming up. They want another 10-story building. Right now, we don't have anything tall around. So maybe to have one here or there, I might be okay with that, but to have two in that same neighborhood, I think it's a little too much. I wish it was a 6 or a 7-story building. With that, I'll say no.
Ordinance passes 3-2.
Thanks. I was doing it right before you, just so you know.
Vote 22 is an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan for a property located at 1191-1205 Kennedy Boulevard, which is identified as Block 32, Lots 10, 11, 12, 13.01, and 15, as shown on the official tax map of the city, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held December 17th, was published in the Burger Record, posted on the bulletin board, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following the public hearing at this meeting of January 21st. It is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. There is a motion on the table to postpone to the meeting of February 18th. Who'd like to move it?
Move it.
Second.
And on the resolution for postponement, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Is an ordinance approving the redevelopment plan.
Here we are, 23 out of 24, and then public comment time. Praise, praises, praises.
Block 209, lots 2, 23.01, and 27, as shown on the official tax map of the city.
Thanks for joining, everybody. I'm going to be exposing a very dirty cop, Lieutenant of Hudson County Sheriff Department, Matt Fedrow, Fedrow, alleged to have sent pictures of his private parts to a female sheriff's officer. Also, allegedly assaulted her by trying to take off her bra while she was working. He allegedly went to hug her and then tried to take her bra off during business hours. He was not charged. He was not arrested. He was not even suspended, let alone fired. And he's the head of the Democratic Bayonne Committee right here in Bayonne, New Jersey. I'm going to ask them to remove him tonight. We must protect women.
Questions on 023? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So moved.
On motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Look at, this is the agenda today. Look at this.
Resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
4 is an ordinance supplementing the revised ordinances, Chapter 7, traffic. which introduces and
The agenda is so many pages. It's ridiculous. This is the last ordinance before speaking, public speaking. I'm number 11. Yeah, a lot of people have left already. It's too bad. People need to hear the public comments from everyone, not just me, from everyone.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Resolution by title of ordinance of the city of Bayonne, County of Hudson, amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances, chapter 7, traffic. concerning it, the council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance was passed.
Then I got another like 30 or 40 ordinances after that, but I ain't staying for that. After the public speaking, if that older gentleman, Bobby Lake, is still here, I'm going to see if I can interview him and get more of his inside perspectives.
Mr. Carroll? Aye. Mr. Perez? Aye. Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. Lafayette?
Aye.
She's gonna go to get the list now. That gentleman's taking a picture of the list. I feel like I'm someone who's presenting at a golf game or.
First speaker is Ms. Wilson.
Okay, she's still here. Wonderful. I'm gonna bring this closer. You can see the speaker better.
Stephanie Glover Wilson, 1050 Avenue C, Bayonne, New Jersey. Hunger Free Bayonne issues statement of loss of office and lack of city support. For the last 10 years, which I just realized that this is 10 years, Hunger Free has serviced the city 110% grassrooted volunteer-run organization. We fed families, supported veterans, helped seniors, brought Hudson County services directly to Bayonne residents, was not have to travel miles to Jersey City. Because if you know where the plaza is located, it's at 257 Cornelison Avenue. Please tell me one bus or train that goes straight there for a senior or veteran. There is none. If they take the light rail, they have to get off at Medical Center, walk up to Cornelison Avenue. If they take number 10, they have to get off at Journal Square and walk down to Cornelison Avenue. So we figured, let Hunger Free have an office satellite to help your residents of Bayonne, because I'm not a public official. I'm just a regular person. Despite the decade of service, Hunger Free UIC has received almost no financial support from the city of Bayonne, past or present council. Meanwhile, funding our office through some county money, some dedicated residents or store owners or business owners in Bayonne that help us do what we need to do. When our lease was up at 170 Broadway, I came here and I asked for help. Mary Jane Desmond sat there, blew smoke. I called the whole month of November, the whole month of December. Got told by Donna Russo that the building that Mary Jane Desmond said can get that Jay Coffey before he resigned, put the building up for sale. So since he put the building up for sale, we could not occupy the building. Now, I don't know how true it is, but y'all best friend Sharon said, because I don't know how she found out about the conversation, said that Joe Coffey could not put the building up for sale because the only person could do that is someone who sits on this council. I don't know, and right now, I don't even care anymore who can do whatever they want to do. So we had a small office, and it was not just to feed people in Bayonne, trust me. Alliance Health Care Center came in once a month for those seniors and veterans who could not get to the doctor, to give them free checkups, to give them free mammograms, to give them free pap smears, and either medicine if they need it. Also, with the county benefits, we had SNAP, Medicaid, and housing assistance signed up. And we did do emergency food giveaways on every third and fourth week of the month, because that's when their food stamps ran out, against your zoning officer's ideas, because she really hated that idea. But no solution was provided by this council. Now here it is, the office is closed, and no problem, because as the office was closing, our next door neighbors really didn't want us there anyway, and trust me, that last week, they really showed their actual true colors on how they did not want Hunger Free and how you guys say it, God's country. As a result, I feel bad for the residents of Bayonne. I don't feel bad for Hunger Free, because Hunger Free is still gonna do what Hunger Free needs to do every Saturday in Hudson County. We just don't service Bayonne, we service the whole Hudson County. We're the only travel food pantry in Hudson County. We go to senior buildings, we go to veteran places, we go to wherever someone calls. Whenever anyone up on this dais calls me, I do not say no. I get up and I do. Mr. Perez, Councilman at Large, has never supported anything Hunger Free did. Gala, donation, nothing. And I feel bad to have to call people out, but that's how I feel, because we're going into election year, and you may not be running, but everybody else up here may be running. You're gonna call me for that vote. Neil, when you first ran, I didn't know you from Adams House Castle or Daffy Duck, did not know you at all. But when you asked me and my volunteers to go down Ward A, which I never lived in, I always lived in Gary's ward, love that ward. I walked, Kathy walked, my husband walked, my children walked. And I figured if I came to you for help, just like we walked for you for the last 10 years, you should have walked for us. Time up, sorry, I have to get this out. You guys gotta help your seniors get those benefits now because we have no office. So I don't know how they're gonna get to Jersey City for those benefits. And even if y'all couldn't do it, y'all could have called Kenny Lopez. He is our commissioner for the county. He's the one that's supposed to bring the county benefits to this city. So when are y'all gonna work together to keep what we need to have here? So when that 80-year-old lady tells me she can't go get her food stamp card so she can reapply with all her paperwork because she can't read and write, I'm gonna tell her to call you guys. But I thank y'all. I thank y'all for showing me exactly what I need to do for this election. Thank you very much, and I wish everybody luck up here. And sorry that you wrote that out that you're not gonna run again, because I was rooting for you. Have a good night.
That's one. I'm number 11. This is number 2. Out of 11.
Mark Myers, 13 Mechanic Street. You know, everybody knows my wife's up there. She gave a farewell speech the other day that she's not going to run again, but I wish she did. But I love you. I'm proud of you. Thank you.
He said time to go home.
Now I can talk why I'm really here. Okay. Okay, thanks, Madeline. I'm glad you're still here. Okay, basically, ex-governor just passed law about the e-bikes and all that kid stuff. When does that go into effect? And the police are gonna take, if you don't have a license or a registration, are they gonna confiscate the bikes and all?
So we actually have something that's a little tighter rule than.
Well, that's even better. Tell me.
It's on tonight, and Mr. Booker was very involved.
Okay, yeah, I heard Mr. Booker had something to do with it. I'd like to hear from him.
So, before you go into the whole thing, if you can wait, we have it on here as an ordinance, so it's gonna come up.
Okay, are the police gonna actively be involved in it? Okay, why I'm actually here, 3 weeks ago, a 10-year-old kid T-boned my car. I thought he was dead. 10 years old. Now I want to grab this kid and take him to the parents. I had to pay $500 to get my passenger side door fixed. I mean, you're going to keep letting, if they don't, we got to stop for a school bus, correct? We don't stop, we get tickets, our insurance goes. They run up on the sidewalk, they have no laws. This town is lawless in certain points. I mean, you got to put a stop to it. When you got bugs in the house, you call the exterminator. You know, you gotta put these people, they're letting their 10-year-old kids drive motorbikes.
Mr. Lake. Over here.
Yeah, okay, Boo.
With all due respect, I just want to circle back to Council President. Listen, thanks to the law department diligently, what we're trying to do and what we're going to do, this ordinance will pass and will be in effect in 6 months. We were waiting for the state to come out with their law.
Version, yeah.
Their version of the cycle. I think it is going to really benefit the city. It is going to empower the police department to enforce the laws, licensing, so forth and so on.
Okay.
So it's up for adoption here tonight. You'll hear more about it, but we work very
And I appreciate what you said, right on point. In New York, they confiscate the illegal vehicles, e-bikes, and they run bulldozers over. They use it for junk, and they got the right idea. And if you park 2 seconds in Hoboken, you got a ticket. Don't get out of your car. That's what I want to see Bayonne. Stop the nonsense. And one other question. What are you going to do about the windmill? I mean, it's not working in what, 2-3 years? My company that I used to work for got offered $7 million to do that job. They were smart enough not to do it. Why don't, I know the motors are shot, they can't get them. Why don't you tear it down, junk it, get the money, and go on a trip. Get the scrap. Yeah, I mean, it's dead in the water. What? You want to keep taking pictures of something that don't move?
For right now,
Why? Sub it out to a contractor for the scrap. Let him work. He knows what it's worth. Let him make you an offer and get rid of it. Maybe you can put a little golf course there or something. A little mini golf course like they did years ago. Those idiots on Broadway. Idiots. 2030 Broadway, they're putting a golf course. That's the brains we had here. I'm glad you're still here. All right, thank you.
God bless Bobby Lake. That is Bobby Lake of Bayonne, New Jersey. Way to go. That is what every town needs.
Joan
Everyone needs to be
Pastorello,
Bobby Lake.
25 Country Village Court. Rather than me going through concerns and suggestions I have, I did make a packet for everybody that if I could just leave with you and you can address it at a later date. Thank you.
Mr. Desmond.
Pat Desmond, 131 West 4th. I came before you because, let's face it, this council, you sit there, you take a bunch of shit from everybody, right? Yes, sir. It's a thankless job, and you're not getting paid enough for it. And I'm looking to push you to raise the salaries. I mean, a councilman in Jersey City, you know, have any idea what they make? Yeah, and they have aides that paid $50,000. You just don't even have aides. You don't have, the salary here hasn't been raised in like 35 years.
1995.
Yeah, so you need to raise the salaries. It's not for use. It's for the incoming. Whoever wins gets the salaries, but the mayor's salary and the council salaries need to go up. Make it a full-time job if you have to raise the price. You know what I mean? Whatever you have to do, you need to do it. And you need to do it before the next election. I mean, I'm not running, you know what I mean? It's not gonna benefit me, but it's gonna benefit, you get better, I'm not just saying nothing bad about you guys up there, but you get better quality people running if the salaries are higher. You know, you need to do it. I told you this 12 years ago that you needed to do it. You just need to do it now. I mean, you got a new administration coming in, you need to raise the salaries. Whether you win, you lose, you don't run. Jackie, you should run. I don't know what you're doing, you should run. But definitely need to think about raising the salaries. The other thing, these poles that they're putting up in Bayonne. After Hurricane Sandy, PSC&G stood up here saying that they were gonna do everything underground. You got 100-foot poles, look, just drive down Avenue E and look at it. It's an eyesore. And they didn't take the other ones down. They just put new ones up. So you got 6 poles on one block, 9 poles on one block. Some of them, they cut the bottom and put a 2x4 under it and tied it off to the other telephone pole. This is a disaster. That needs to stop. They should do what they said they were gonna do it underground. They said there was money earmarked for it. They were gonna put everything underground. After Hurricane Sandy, because everything flooded and got destroyed, everything was gonna go underground. That's not underground. You know, that should be done. And 3, there's an election coming up. The petitions are out. We need to get, in Jersey City, in Jersey City, the mayor needed 100 signatures. Here we're being told 800, 850. That's wrong. It's not even close. 75. And the council, ward council seats are 25, and at large are 75. They're reading the law wrong. That is not correct. I've been doing this for 40+ years. Never have you needed 800 signatures. For a recall, maybe. Not for an election. They made the law the way it is now to make it easier for people to vote, or easier for people to run. Not harder. 800-something signatures is just dead wrong. It's not right, and it needs to be checked into. Get the lawyers on it. It's 75 signatures you need, and 25 for each ward seat. At large is 75. You're pushing people away by doing that.
In the years past, I believe it was for the ward.
Used to be 300 for the
Well,
mayor.
about 120 or so, which would make, right, 300 would sound reasonable for the mayor or at large.
And, but they made it easier. That was the whole intent of the law, to make it easier for people to
I
run.
was surprised at the numbers too, but we did inquire, and we were told that it's going by the census of new people that are in, and a percentage of voters.
If that was the
from
case,
last election.
if that was the case, wouldn't Jersey City have been much higher than 100 signatures?
But I also don't.
They would have needed over 1,000, almost 2,000 signatures.
Here, this is city business, so I appreciate you.
No, I am just, but it's for people running. It's wrong. It's wrong, and they're being told wrong information. It's 75-25. I'm telling you. What they're doing, it's wrong. And I'm not saying nothing bad about Madeline. She's a beautiful lady, okay? But this is all being done wrong here. All right? You just need to check into it, and you need to do it now, not after the election. It needs to be done now, and raise the salaries. And Jackie, run.
Thank you.
Mr. Perry?
Good evening, Gene Perry, 77A Hobart Avenue. I'm here to follow up on an email I sent. Gary, you and I spoke during the holiday season as well regarding the traffic patterns. I know it's a little bit early out of the game, but again, for the council who are not in copy of the email, I raised a concern where possibly seeing it at the Lincoln Tunnel. Jersey City has them all over the place now by their fire hydrants. Mr. Soleri left, the delineators. If 440 northbound, where you make the right turn at Costco, we have too many out-of-town people coming up that lane They're not going to Costco. They're trying to get past the traffic. They're going to Turnpike in the morning. I almost got crushed last week. I actually pulled over and sat there and watched them. Having seen it now in Jersey City where they have delineators, you can block it where if the person goes there, they have no choice but to go to Costco now and go shopping. Have a great day. Because they're speeding through and you have your other cars now trying to make that left-hand turn still because they're getting antsy to get into Costco. It's a recipe for disaster. I know the council's looking at it, but again, and also a traffic light. What would a traffic light cost at Costco?
So if you can wait today, I have a whole statement with timing and everything, and I'd like to do that at that.
Late night pancakes or men?
It's coming up soon.
All right,
So
thank you,
after
Gary.
after the introduction of ordinances. So, and I'll give you the whole rundown.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Max?
Okay, I had wanted to speak on something further up on the agenda. Would I be able to do it then?
Sure.
Oh,
You can
okay.
speak on anything you want.
All right then.
Just not elections stuff.
Okay.
Mr. Rivera?
David Rivera, 103 West 42nd Street. I just have a quick question about Uptown on Avenue C. I know maybe about 6 months ago, PSE&G did some infrastructure work up on Avenue C. And it was quite, you know, it was a little bit of a mess. But I just want to say thank you guys for working with PSE&G to make sure that they came back and they paved and milled the street. Perfect. Now you go up Avenue C and it looks great, feels good. My car's not getting destroyed, which is awesome. And I just got one other question. Now, the second phase of that, when it comes to like, I want to say, I guess, Midtown and downtown, is that coming up probably in the springtime?
It should be in the springtime.
Oh, it should be. All right, awesome.
This is a statement period, so even though I answered your question, we're really not supposed to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll go back to my seat. Thank you. Thank you very much, though.
Hi, guys. I know I don't live in Bayonne, but I work in Bayonne. I'm always in Bayonne. I've been a volunteer with Hunger Free for 4.5 years now. Kind of disappointed in this council. No one's really volunteered. I've asked before, I've been here before, I've even offered. Other than Jackie, who's physically picked up boxes and handed it to we were by a Lincoln School. No one's ever helped out. Gary, you might in the past gave money. We appreciate it from your foundation. Mr. Carroll, maybe in the very, very beginning, but we were in your ward. And other than our grand opening and St. Patty's Day, you never showed up in our office. The people that we serve are your people. And you never came in. You know who came in the last day that we were cleaning? Blew my mind. Sharon Jurowski. What? Mind blown. But she came up, probably fishing around. But I'm disappointed that you guys aren't there. No one really showed up. You know who showed up? The little boy who realized was going from school, who stopped at our store, our place, for snacks before he got back home. Because it was a place to stay, a safe place. We're just about giving, we're about love and hope. Remember what you guys wanted to run for. Why are you up there? Mr. Booker, you're gonna be running. Jackie, man, I wish you were. Please? Remember why you wanted to run. Why did you want to make an impact? We're making that impact on volunteers' backs. We're getting rescued food. We're giving it. I've made trips to seniors' houses. They can't come out. We all have. Stephanie would put a phone call out. We're raiding our own pantries to give out. Disappointed in every one of you. Now we have to wait until the county builds our building and you can't come up with a place for us? That's disgusting. We're serving your people. And no one's stepping up. I don't know what else to ask for. That's it. That's it. Have a good night.
Virginia, in the past, I've gotten St. Vincent's, you were there for several years. I know you reached out just, I think it was last month, maybe.
St. Vincent's, Gary, honestly, it's still there. We could have been there. But it doesn't matter. Well, we still paid for it. It wasn't great, but we made it happen. But we were asked to leave.
You call me up, you have pallets by Woodrow Wilson, I had them taken care of. I can go on and on about the other things that I've done. And again, I would have loved for Stephanie, if you would call me up.
How many times?
I didn't have to call you. I came here in person. I didn't have to call you. I told you we had the lease for 2 years. I told y'all 2 years ago. I came here 2 years ago and said we only had the lease for 2 years. The landlord didn't want us there. The shipping company didn't want us there. Bayonne Commerce didn't want us there. But I kept fighting. I stayed there for 2 years. I stayed in a place where my so-called neighbors didn't want us there because they didn't want these type of people there. These type of people are your people. These type of people are people that you want to vote from. Okay, so now put me someplace else for 2 years.
So I will try and work on something for you. I will.
But I've been hearing, I try. We did. I'm taking money out of my household, out of her mouth. I'm a single mother. My husband passed away. No, he didn't leave me $1 million. He left me her. So when people calling me at 9 o'clock at night saying I don't have no food, I don't call y'all. I do it. I do it because when I do call y'all, I don't get nothing back. And I'm more disappointed in Mary Jane Desmond because I thought we were friends first, politics second. And she sat there and y'all heard her and it was on record. And I got to run around for 2 months. And for Donna Russo to tell me that Joe Coffey put the building up for sale, come on, y'all. Y'all know better than that. No, I'm not sharing. I don't care about the legal stuff. I care about the people. I care about like she said, the little kids whose mothers don't have SNAP when they go to that school around the corner. Now they can't come get a donut and a box of juice so kids won't tease them in school. That's what I'm worried about. But see, y'all don't know that because y'all don't come see. Y'all never asked. But everybody got something to say. But I bet you 10-1, if I had $10,000 and said, put this towards your election, but I bet you got money to go rent out a storefront so people can do the phone banking that you want to vote for you, you'll find that money then, right? Right, no problem. Because like I said, Hunger Free is still going to do what we got to do. Regardless of any politics money, we're still going to do what we're going to do. Let the people decide. And like I said, I wish you was running. I wish you was running. Everybody have a good night.
And on this footnote, might not be the right time and place, but on this footnote, the only person that helped Hunger Free indirectly is Ms. Weimer's husband. The only person. I can't say what he's doing, but for the last 4 years, he's the only person to look out for Hunger Free.
And then if we're going to be real, if we're going to be real about the county building, Bill O'Day brought that to us. Nobody from Bayonne brought that to us. Once Bill O'Day talked to Hudson County, then Assembly Sampson got involved. Where was Angela McKnight? Nowhere. But I bet she wants our votes too. So don't do it. Because if it's something that you wanted and something that you needed, y'all would make it happen. Y'all would make it happen. If those was your families or your grandkids or your stepkids, you would make it happen. Now those little kids gotta walk past that store and not get snapped because L-Bombs ain't giving nothing out for free. Right. Crisscross the street ain't giving nothing out for free. We gave it for free, so those kids won't get teased. So take that when y'all do these little campaign fundraisers. Take that, please.
Okay, Ms. Wilson, real quick, before you leave, I would I want to say one thing to you. I am not trying to convince you for anything. I hear your passion. I've known your passion over the years, okay? And if there's anything that I didn't do, then I apologize. Can I speak, please? I'm gonna sit here right now and apologize to you personally. I know what you do. I've seen what you've done, okay? And what I'm saying is sometimes when people make a mistake, they should be given the opportunity to correct that mistake. And I hear your passion in everybody that's speaking. And I hear what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. I understand what it feels like to come from a family in need. So I am saying to you right now, and I will for the council, but me personally, I apologize if I fell short, and hope that you, in the future, not for your vote, okay? Not for your vote, for the fact that I can make up and fix what I haven't done for you. I hear your passion, and I apologize. I won't speak for the council. I'm sure they feel the same way. But I know what you do. I come from a family, okay, of needs. I know what you do. I've been there personally. And again, and I say this out loud, this is not for votes. And I fell short, and I apologize, and giving me the opportunity for the next 5 months that I have, here or not, that I'm able to help you, because I really feel bad and sorry if I fell short. So please accept my apology.
I'll accept your apology, but remember, you're not just helping me, you're helping Bayonne. They can't get to Kenilson Avenue to get the help that they need. So what are they supposed to do?
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not here to debate with you or go against you. I agree. I agree. Please, give at least the council, okay, myself, the opportunity to correct the wrong. That's what it's all about, and that's godly. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Booker. So remember that hunger that was not with you. When you're running, when you're looking at a person's face, remember what it felt like not to have. And then go with that fire, because that's what's going to help. And if you really want to help, 2,000 square feet. That's what we need, 2,000 square feet. Enough space for us to have a refrigerator, office space so we could have Alliance there for health screenings, a place of comfort. We did it in less than 1,400 square feet. That place was home for a lot of people. Gone, just like that. You can make it. You could find 2,000 square feet somewhere. I know you can.
Please reach out to me. I'll tell you what. I mean, it's no secret, and the council president said, we're not here to talk politics, and we're not talking elections.
This isn't, sir, this isn't about politics. This is about the real need.
What I'm saying to
You know, you're looking at buildings and stuff, but what's gonna happen?
Well, I'm in agreement with you. What I'm saying to you, if I was able to accomplish that for you, okay, then I've already won.
Let's do it.
I'm not looking for
Well, let's
votes.
ask on these big developers that we have bringing all this big high-rise.
Already in my brain.
There you go. Okay.
And you're right, 1.6 million is nothing. That'll be done tomorrow.
And the only thing I want to say, with respect, and if it was a failure on my part, if I didn't stop in as often as I should have, I'll own that. But what I will say is, there was a larger fight going on, a fight you're part of, a fight you're helping to help other people with. And where I was on that battlefield is behind this desk. And you've seen it in action. You've seen me try to pass laws. You've seen me try to change laws that we have already. You've seen me try to get these developers to do more concrete things for people that suffer. And the idea that I don't care pains me, because you watch it, you see it. And if I didn't do enough, or if I assumed that at the last meeting where you had that conversation between then and now, if I assumed that things were moving along as they should have, well then, you know what you get when you assume. And I'll own that too.
You didn't know that J. Coffee didn't put that building up for sale?
Which building? 601 Avenue C.
Mental health building.
601 Avenue C. I mean Broadway.
But again, and that's something that's obviously
And
gonna
that
get
came from Donna
done.
Russo. She said that.
Again.
Because I got the runaround for 2 months on the phone.
If I assume, I own my assumption. But the suggestion that I somehow cast this aside, this is the cause of my life. This is why I'm here. This is why I ran. This is why I asked
So,
for
Mr.
your
Carroll,
help.
remember that fire.
What?
Remember that fire when the person needs help, when the person needs food.
Talk is cheap.
Remember that fire. Remember that fire, everybody.
Talk is
Thank you,
cheap.
Jackie.
All they're doing is saying, oh, they apologize. They care about buildings, not people, not children, not women.
Ms. Holmes, you have spent your entire life helping this community and the one next to us. It is no surprise that your daughter and your granddaughter did not fall far. And I do know that it has been Stephanie's life work, I know it's your life work. I too ask for your forgiveness. No matter how much we did help, it clearly wasn't enough. I think we all probably fell short in one way or another. Part of the reason why I'm not running is because I would like more time to do things that I feel are a true benefit for our community, things like that. I too have been the recipient of Stephanie's phone calls. Hey, where are you? Can you come pick up a box of food to have to go to Mrs. Smith in your ward uptown or wherever the case may be? I do recall, I want to say it was Thanksgiving, where a woman said to us, no, I really can't use a whole turkey. You know, it's only me, but I just got out of the hospital and I can't actually cook. So we didn't give her a turkey. Stephanie gave me 2 Cornish hens and I went home and baked them first. And then we delivered her, I went back and picked up another box and we delivered her all the trimmings. So nevertheless, I do know that it was a cause that made it work, right? Made it work for that person. And I do think, as I said, I think that we all probably fell short.
You didn't
But
fall short, because like I say, indirectly, your husband helped.
I know he did. My husband has a heart of gold. And
have a heart of gold, but
I wish I had $1 for every pound of his, because then perhaps we could donate that, but nevertheless. I think maybe Uncle Charlie, yourself, Virginia, Ms. Holmes, I've been there. I know the work that you do. I know the plugging in of trucks and finding vehicle space and looking for refrigerators. I think I probably had food in my own freezer that belonged to Hunger Free at times when we had nowhere to put it. So I recall well, I do. I think this entire community is going to be at a loss without you.
I just feel sorry for those kids.
I do as well. And if somebody from this community, you know who that child is, but if somebody calls you and you can't get to them, you call me and I will. And I will bring them as long as I'm able to. But I do think, I believe, and sometimes it does take you calling people out on the carpet. Sometimes it does take you just bringing it to their attention. I actually was not aware that the building was being sold and that you were closing until I saw it on Facebook when I reached out to you. I was not aware prior to that. That's not an excuse. Perhaps I should have been, but you did bring it to our attention. Perhaps there is something. Maybe I will have some additional free time. Maybe there is a creative solution that we can come up with. Maybe somebody will step up. I don't. There's a whole lot of unknown here, but it is now at the forefront, I think, of all of our minds. As are the people that live in this community and need it. And I too still deliver door-to-door food donations. And I do know that there are people, I keep a list on my phone of individuals. I know you've shared it with me on occasion. And so, but let everybody look into it now. Give them an opportunity between Mr. LaPalooza and Councilman Booker and Mr. Carroll and myself.
I'm not the family. She's the calm one, so.
I would have never guessed, but I appreciate it, and I'm sorry, and by the way, thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Virginia.
Thank you, guys.
Is an ordinance for introduction.
Oh, wait. My name wasn't called. I'm Leroy Truth.
I'm sorry.
All right, welcome, everyone. I am Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations. And subscribe to me on YouTube and Facebook. and I specialize in investigating corrupt politicians as well as protecting women and children from S predators, and I will be talking in code tonight, as this will be on video here. And I'm here for a number of reasons, because dozens of people over the last year have literally begged me to start investigating Bayonne, New Jersey, the government here, and to ask some questions that I've been receiving. I've received hundreds and hundreds of questions from people. Now, question number 43 I've received comes from Sergio, last name redacted. And this is to Council President Gary LaPalooza. Now, people have been contacting me, and they keep describing you, for some reason, as the king of nepotism. And I'm just asking questions. I'm not making any statements here on behalf of people who have been asking me. And they asked me to share this and ask you this question. Since you became councilman, Mr. LaPalooza, literally you make about $170,000 with benefits. Your son Gary also has a government job, about $75K in benefits. Son David, about $75,000, and daughter Jennifer, about $60,000 with benefits. Total of about $400,000, according to Sergio, and all after you became councilman. So don't answer this now, you can answer after my time.
This is political nonsense.
And please don't interrupt me, sir. Please don't interrupt me. All right, so next question, don't interrupt. And question number 13. And this comes from a number of anonymous female Hudson County, New Jersey sheriff's officers. And by the way, everyone, he said that was political nonsense. Now, this is extremely concerning. And I'm speaking now, ladies and gentlemen, from Bayonne, New Jersey, which is the #2 sanctuary for sexual predators in the state of New Jersey. #1, of course, being Mayor and Senator Brian Stack's Union City, New Jersey, protecting Edward Marina as alleged as predator. Now, Jimmy Davis was your mayor. And according to what I've read in newspaper articles and information I've received, a vile, disgusting S-harasser, and here's some articles, and I'm sure you're familiar with these. Bayonne settles 2 lawsuits with ex-employees, including Mayor Jimmy Davis' sexting case for $450,000. Check this out. Then, jury awards ex-Bayonne City Hall employee of Bayonne $500,000 for hostile work environment and sexually charged environment. Check this out. And he was just elected sheriff. How's that possible? Oh, yeah, that's right. Mayor and Senator Brian Stack's endorsement, the #1 protector of alleged sexual predators in the history of New Jersey. Now, this brings me to Lieutenant Matt Fedro of Bayonne, New Jersey. I understand he is still the head of the Democratic Committee of Bayonne, New Jersey. And he is a known alleged sexual predator. And I'm going to ask, because there's members here of the Democratic Committee, I believe, that you make sure he gets removed immediately as the head of the Bayonne Democratic Committee, being an alleged sex predator. Now, I've got a letter here that shows this is true, that's not allegations, from an internal investigation from the Hudson County Sheriff's Office. It said, and a number of people sent this to me, "Dear Ms. Matthews, the Internal Affairs Unit of the Hudson County Sheriff's Office has completed an investigation into your report concerning the conduct of Sheriff's Lieutenant Matthew Fedro. The investigation and a review of all information currently available to this unit was sufficient. Therefore, the complaint is sustained. The officer involved will be subject to appropriate discipline under our agency's procedure." Now, he, according to inside reports, sexually assaulted a female Hudson County Sheriff's officer. He attempted to take her bra off. That was found to be true. He sent pictures of his private parts to her. Stop interrupting me, sir. Stop interrupting me. And here is where it comes into you. I understand he still has contracts with his other company, Law Enforcement. An alleged S-predator still has contracts with Bayonne, New Jersey. So I'm asking you to cancel those contracts immediately and also make sure he is removed as the head of the Democratic Committee. Or I know Gary, and who is it, Booker, works for Hudson County Executive Craig Guy, and he controls you, I hear. Do you need his permission to remove this S-predator Matt Fedro as the head of the Democratic Committee? And will you cancel these contracts? So will you cancel these contracts, and do you still have contracts with him, law enforcement?
This is a statement period, I'm not gonna answer the question, just like I did it for other people.
Well, I'm asking you as one gentleman to another gentleman in transparency, will you answer these questions?
No, but I'll look into these situations.
Now, do you know about the information about Matt Fedro, that he has been found to be an S-predator? And that he allegedly S-assaulted a female police officer? And that Jimmy Davis is protecting him? You don't know anything about that?
No, it's not about that.
He says he doesn't know anything. I don't believe you. All right, can you talk to me after the meeting and one-on-one?
We'll see.
All right, that's not an answer there. You see, what cowards, what cowards. You care about protecting women? I mean, really? From sexual predators? Did you just say moving on? Yeah, you don't care. You're enablers of S-predators, right here. Gary LaPalooza, Sr.
Identified as Block 83, Lot 1, Block 815, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. And resolution fixed on Wednesday, February 18th at 6 p.m. in the Dorchester County Council chambers at the time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Moved by the council president, Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Beamer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
26 is an ordinance adopting a minor amendment to the redevelopment plan for 112-122 Avenue C and 53-57 West 48th Street, which is identified as Block 64, Lots 2 and 3, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, and a resolution fixed on Wednesday, February 18th at 6 p.m. in the Dorchester County Council chambers at the time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Moved by Councilmember Perez. Mr. Booker, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Beamer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
27 is an ordinance amending the H Street Rehabilitation Plan pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 48:12A-1 and SAC. And a resolution fixed on Wednesday, February 18th at the time and place for a public hearing and final passage. It's moved by the council member Perez.
I think this one's been pulled from the
Pulling that one.
Transparency, will you answer these questions?
028
Do you know about
amending
the
and
information about Matt
supplementing
Fedro, that he
ordinances,
has been
chapter
found to be
4,
an S-predator?
licensing and registration
And
and
then
business
that
regulations.
S-assaulted
And
a female
resolution
police
moved by
officer?
council
And that
president,
Jimmy
fixed
Davis?
Wednesday, February
You
18th,
don't know anything
at the
about
time
that?
and place for a public hearing and final passage.
He
Seconded
says he
by
doesn't
Mr.
know anything.
Perez.
I don't believe you. All right, can you talk to me after the meeting? One-on-one?
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
That's not an
Ms.
answer.
Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
You care about protecting women? Really? From
29 is an ordinance approving the traffic control plan review for the Bayonne Housing Authority Oak Street Development Application record pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 48:12A-1 at 7. And resolution fixed on Wednesday, February 18th, in Dorchester County Council chambers at the time and place for a public hearing and final passage. It's moved by Councilmember Perez. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Beamer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
30 is an ordinance approving the financial agreement by and between the city of Bayonne and 21-37 West 25th Street Urban Renewal LLC for the property located at 21-29-35 West 25th Street, which is identified as Block 183, Lots 5, 6, and 8.01, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. And resolution.
Thank you for your professionalism.
Mike, I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Okey-dokey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm in the lobby now. And can you, all right, let me get this, I gotta get the whole thing higher here. And can you believe no one cared about protecting women, that Matt Fedro, lieutenant in the sheriff's department right now, and they're looking at giving him promotions, I hear. And Hudson County Sheriff Jimmy Davis, who was the mayor who created this S-charged environment of S-harassment, is now the Hudson County Sheriff. And he is doing everything possible to prevent his very good friend, Lieutenant Matt Fedro, from being fired and arrested for assaulting a female officer. How is it that Lieutenant Matt Fedro wasn't arrested? I read the letter from Internal Investigation right there. He assaulted a woman according to findings. What's your thought about Matt Fedro, sir? Can I get a comment from you? Do you care about women and protecting them from harassment and assault? I don't think he could run any faster. This is just craziness. And 5 minutes is just not enough time. It is not enough time. And there were more questions I had for them as well. But not a single person asked me a question on that council. Nobody. And then Gary LaPalooza, the president of this council, it's like, oh, I never heard about it. BS. This is extremely well known all around the community of Bayonne, New Jersey. Lieutenant Matt Fedro is the head of the Democratic committee right here. And he doesn't just need to be suspended. He doesn't just need to be fired. He needs to be arrested, according to the information that I've received. He tried to take the bra off a female Hudson County Sheriff's officer. And he is her superior officer, someone under him, working under him. And he wasn't arrested and charged. And I have had numerous female Hudson County Sheriff's officers reach out to me, numerous. And they are terrified because since Mayor Jimmy Davis became sheriff, and who got him elected? Mayor and Senator Brian Stack, the head of the Senate Judiciary Committee and the #1 protector of S-predators in the history of the state of New Jersey, who is right now protecting an alleged S-predator, Union City Assistant Principal and teacher Edwin Marinez. When a number of people have come forward publicly and said that Marinez had exposed himself to them, and numerous privately to me, aren't ready to go public, as young as 7 years old. And they allege this has been going on for decades. And who's been protecting them? Allegedly Mayor and Senator Brian Stack. And Edwin Marinez allegedly has been having S with students as young as 9th grade. Who's been protecting them allegedly? Mayor and Senator, head of the New Jersey State Judiciary Committee, Brian Stack. And Edwin Marinez is still going into work every single day. Mayor Senator Stack refuses to suspend him. Give him his due process. I only make allegations here. I only report allegations. I never make them. I report the allegations, but they are allegations. Everyone deserves due process, including Edwin Marinez. But he needs to be suspended. He cannot be coming into the school system every single day. After what, 5-6 weeks now, since people have come forward about that? And now Mayor Jimmy Davis gets elected because Stack endorsed him. He's the Hudson County Sheriff. Look, let me show you these articles here. This is insane. Here, I'm going to show you. You can take a look at them more clearly. Check these out. These are the headlines. Watch this here. Turn the camera around, otherwise it's backwards. Okay, here, look at this. Make sure it's not blurry. See that? That's Jimmy Davis. He's now the sheriff. Look at that. And that's one of his victims right there. Bayonne settled for $450,000 of taxpayer money here. And then that woman, he tried to get her to meet him in a hotel in Atlantic City. And she works for him, or worked for him. Look at that. No accountability. Oh, and this. Jury awarded ex-Bayonne City Hall employee $500,000. This is someone else. For a hostile work environment and an S-charged environment. A jury worked 6 weeks. 6 weeks on this trial, and they awarded this woman $500,000. And guess what? A judge named Judge Espinoza overturned the verdict, allegedly because Mayor and Senator Brian Stack told her to, allegedly. Why would she overturn a jury's very clear verdict? Jimmy Davis, here's the letter. I'm going to show you the letter right here. Check this out. This is internal investigation. Look, I got this, copy of this. Numerous people have sent this to me. Came from Hudson County Sheriff's Office. Look at it for yourself. October 3rd, and Lieutenant Matt Fedro is not only not suspended, he's not fired, and he's not charged and arrested. And it's to Ms. Matthews who brought this complaint against him. And by the way, she is going to court suing now Hudson County Sheriff Jimmy Davis, because she used to be, Miss Melissa Matthews used to be the business administrator of Bayonne, New Jersey. But she was railroaded out. And the mayor of Bayonne, New Jersey became the Hudson County Sheriff. But he was supposed to have a trial. I think it was October. And guess what? He got that trial postponed, adjourned until after the election, and made a case that said, oh, you know, he's too busy running for office as an alleged harasser, and that going to trial would hurt his chances of becoming the next Hudson County Sheriff. Well, guess what? President Donald Trump, and I'm not saying for or against him, I'm just stating fact, he had a trial in the middle of when he was running for office previously. And he asked that the trial be adjourned until after the election. And they said, no, you have to go to the trial just like any other person, right? How did Jimmy Davis get somehow more deference than someone running for president of the United States? Because if that trial of then Mayor Jimmy Davis would have gone forward in October, he would not be Hudson County Sheriff. When all the facts that Melissa Matthews, the past business administrator of Bayonne, New Jersey, and others would have brought forth in that trial, in a million years, no one would have voted for Jimmy Davis for Hudson County Sheriff, allegedly. But now the trial is upcoming in February. He shouldn't be sheriff. I mean, I just showed you a fraction of the information there. Then he's protecting an alleged predator, his good friend, head of the Democratic Committee here in Bayonne, New Jersey, Matt Fedro, who should be arrested. I'm dedicated and committed to protecting women and children from predators. And as many of you know, some of you may not, I'm a survivor. I was abused by a Catholic priest for 4 years from the age of 7 when I was an altar boy. And for 33 years, I've been attempting to get justice. And I finally did a deposition last year, suing the Catholic Church, who has spent millions and millions of dollars to try to stop these lawsuits. It was just disgusting. Millions and millions of parishioners' dollars, their donations, that's what it goes to. It doesn't go to helping homeless. It goes to protecting PDF priests. It took me 33 years. They think they're going to stop me. I'm going to give up. I don't stop. I don't give up until the righteous, peaceful, just outcome happens. I'm committed to protecting the children of Union City. I'm committed to protecting the Hudson County female sheriff's officers and all the women in Bayonne, all the women in Hudson County, New Jersey, and the United States. No one else cares about them. And lastly, before I close today, no one asked me any questions. No one made a statement. No one said, oh my God, this is shocking. I'm going to look into this. Leroy, can you please stay to the end of the meeting, and I want to talk with you, because I want to know more about this. Of course, they all know about it already. But I'm disgusted. How is it that if you're in government and you assault a woman or a child, that they get a free pass, like a free hall pass. It's sick. So I'm just getting started with Bayonne here. And there's a lot more about Jimmy Davis that is going to come out when the Melissa Matthews, Sheriff Jimmy Davis trial starts, and I believe in February. And I appreciate everyone for sharing some time with me in this very long meeting. And the meeting is only halfway over. There's like at least 30 or 40 more ordinances here tonight. So please like this video. Please share this video. Everyone needs to know the truth. And how is it that an October 3rd internal investigation that I showed you found the allegations against Lieutenant Matt Fedro were sustained? Is he still, Matt Fedro, the head of the Bayonne Democratic Committee? I mean, it's absolutely sick and sickening. How is it? And I understand I got information from many sources. He assaulted her, according to the findings, at work. And you know what I was told? Because I asked, well, why wasn't he prosecuted? Now, this is alleged. I don't have confirmation on this. But supposedly, someone went to the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, which is the puppet of Mayor and Senator Brian Stack, allegedly, the puppet with Wayne Mello, the new acting Hudson County Prosecutor. You know what I was told? Why they didn't arrest Lieutenant Matt Fedro, who also, by the way, was the head of the Superior Officers Police Union for the Hudson County Sheriffs. And I wonder if he's still there. They removed him for that. But you know what I was told? Why wasn't he arrested for assault against this female police officer? Especially the internal investigation, which you know, most internal investigations say we've investigated ourselves and we found ourselves innocent, right? Well, the findings said he did it. And I asked Hudson County Prosecutor's Office why he wasn't immediately charged and arrested for assault. And they said, oh, no. It assault because he tried to take her bra off from the back. If he had tried to take it off from the front, that would have been assault. I was told this by insiders in the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office of why Lieutenant Matt Fedro wasn't charged with assault. I mean, does it get sicker than this? I mean, what's going on here? That if he would have tried to take her bra off from the front instead of the back, it's no different. You tell me, put it in the comments. How's this different? He cannot be working in law enforcement. He cannot be unarrested. He's got to be arrested. And if you have additional information, or if you are another alleged victim of Matt Fedro or of Hudson County Sheriff Jimmy Davis, contact me immediately at LeroyTruth247@gmail.com. LeroyTruth247@gmail.com. I want to read some comments here before we go. And I thank everyone for staying with me. We've been at this now. We've been here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 hours and 45 minutes. I mean, absolutely crazy. So let me take a look at some comments here before we go. And I so appreciate everyone here. Aria, thank you, Aria, being an incredible video editor and friend and part of the core Leroy Truth Investigations team. I want to thank the Exposure Report with David Snow. Please subscribe to both of their channels, AV Designs for Aria, the Exposure Report, David Snow, Scalzo Photo on YouTube, and Garden State Accountability on YouTube. And here's some of the comments here. Yeah, sick bastard. It said, What's Normal said, you made an impact or they wouldn't have behaved the way they did. It's not a coincidence that The Sopranos was based in New Jersey. No, it's not. Frank Pants, these people act untouchable. Lisa Rangel, sick. Bruce R, that's messed up. They're not untouchable. But they need more people making phone calls. And if anyone, as we're closing here, can put the the phone number for the mayor's office here. And they have, I believe they have an interim mayor, but there's all kinds of infighting. Who's going to be the next mayor? And they'll probably pick the one who's the best S-harasser and best S-assaulter. That's probably who they're going to elect here. Money is the route, your government in motion. They all need to find another job, yes. And B. Harrison wrote, I can't believe they were going to skip over Leroy like he didn't even sign up to speak. What a bunch of bleeping cowards. Can you believe they knew who I was? I mean, people actually, when I stepped out a couple times, I left the camera inside, but they were coming up to me, Leroy, thank you, we watch all your videos, we support what you're doing. They knew who I was here. And they tried to skip over me. They can't handle the truth. And what did they do with the truth? They ignored the truth. That's what corrupt people do. Again, no one asked me. They were going back and forth for 10, 15, 20 minutes with people about buildings. What about women? Because this alleged ex-predator is on the loose. Matt Fedro is in society right now. How many other women has he possibly done this to? Reach out to me completely confidentially. LeroyTruth247@gmail.com. LeroyTruth247@gmail.com. Criminals belong behind bars, not protected because they're protected by Mayor and Senator Brian Stack, or now Hudson County Sheriff Jimmy Davis, and Hudson County Executive Craig Guy. And I'm doing deep investigations. Me and my team are doing deep investigations on all of them. So thank you, Tommy, for sharing the email there. And I want to thank all the mods for being my mods. Frank Pants, you're awesome. And thanks for some super chats that came through here. And there's a Give, Send, Go that Vinny of Garden State Accountability set up. And please subscribe to Vinny of Garden State Accountability. And if anyone could put that in there, if you have it handy, for my legal defense fund for the unlawful, bogus, false charges, felony charges against me when I'm trying to protect children at a Union City Board of Education meeting. They were brought against me, allegedly by Mayor Stack, allegedly set this whole thing up to try to stop me from continuing to expose the allegations against Edwin Marinez, the assistant principal of Union City Schools and teacher. I'm never stopping, and you are part of the solution. Your phone calls, your emails to the corrupt people, it's the public peaceful, always peaceful, public exposure and public pressure that changes things and can hold and will hold people accountable. So it's Bayonne, New Jersey, Mayor's office, phone number, as we wrap up here, if anyone, thank you, Tommy, you found the Give, Send, Go. It just started, Benny just started that, and anyone can find the Bayonne, New Jersey. Peaceful, if you would like to simply peacefully petition your government, this government, because your government, well, I don't care if you live in Alaska, you live in Albuquerque, you live in Miami, you live in Bangor, Maine, you live in Bayonne. It's your government. It's part of the United States of America. All right, so I'm going to get some lunch. I haven't really eaten a lot. I ate breakfast for lunch, and I'm going to get some lunch dinner somewhere now. So God bless you. Please watch my other videos, and stay tuned. I have a really important video I'm sharing tomorrow at 11 a.m. Great job, Aria, doing the editing of it. There was a gentleman who came into a Walmart, as a preview, and he's a motorcyclist. He didn't take his helmet off. I'm a motorcyclist. I don't always take it off when I go to stores. He didn't take it off, and he was listening to music blasting inside, and some manager, I guess, was afraid of him and went behind him to try to get his attention. The guy never heard him. He went, bought some stuff, then checks out, pays for his food with a real human checkout person, and goes to leave, and the police surround him. Like, what are you doing? And what are you talking about? I'm just buying food and going to work. Oh, no, you're trespassing. Like, what are you talking about? The manager was telling you to stop. The manager said, oh, I went right in front of the guy, and I told him to stop, and he ignored me. Manager lied. It's all on camera. I showed the video tomorrow. They ended up saying, well, we're going to trespass you. They're not going to arrest you. They're going to trespass the motorcyclist. The cops had a bad attitude. Then they ended up arresting him instead because they didn't like the guy's attitude. They didn't think the man, the innocent man, was respectful enough to them. Now, all charges were dismissed, but the gentleman did a lawsuit in Arizona, and the three judges were completely on the cop's side. It was crazy. So you're going to see that tomorrow. 11 a.m., it's going to premiere. Please join me. Set your clocks, set your calendars. And I want to thank Arya for the editing, and please subscribe to his channel. We want to get him to 1,000, and he's just getting started here. We want to get him to 1,000 ASAP, AV Designs. So God bless you, everyone. Thank you for your support. I got to go back in there and get my jacket. And, and that person, Councilman DePalusa, he was saying, this is political, this is political. They hate when they get exposed with the truth. It's not political. I'm a journalist. Remember, I don't make allegations, I report them, and I was asking questions from people. And not a single councilman or councilwoman inquired about anything. They could have asked me for the next 20 or 30 minutes about Matt Fedro. What else do I know? What else, other allegations do I have against Matt Fedro? Silence. It was like silence of the lambs, but silence of the cowards, silence of the people in the council who apparently love to support people who assault women and children. So, I'm Leroy Truth. Much more to continue. Stay tuned for my next video, 11 a.m. tomorrow. God bless you all.